What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of it. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
Maintaining your beard isn't just style, it's self-respect. A well-grown beard boosts confidence and leaves a lasting impression. Elevate your look. Embrace the importance of beard care today. Let's go, town. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Shannon Rawls, Sherm, Sweeney, Darwin, Law, Hink, and White, Jimmy B, and myself from Lapeef Network. What's going on? How y'all doing? Welcome to King Talk.
Good, man. What's the word?
Unless somebody trying to get it together. Is that you, Sherm? No, somebody. Might have something going on with their mic, man. Good to see you, gentlemen, man. Happy Tuesday to all you guys.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's go ahead and get the housekeeping out the way, man. Shout out to the sponsor, T. Shanley, uncomplicated skincare for men. And you get 40% off along with a free gift. And if you become a member, you get 20% off. Mike is that? Who's that sliding stuff around? Who's that? That you, Sweeney? Somebody might give it a lot of feedback. Anyhow,
that's Sherm.
That's Sherm?
Yeah.
I heard the music. Was that?
Nah, the music
still doing it
from my end. It was just somebody sliding around. And it was kind of thumping a little bit. My apologies for the interruption. Everybody that's watching. We also got a Sure Man King on top. This is for the beards. If your beard is not connected, if you're struggling with it, if it's patchy, not soft, Go ahead and get your Assured Man King on top. That link is pinned to the top of the chat and it's also in the description. So we got in the chat, man. We got Class Clown, Angela Swift, Tay K, Geo. Never seen you in there, but welcome. We got NWSGC. Welcome, Christopher Matthews, Insane One, Fishing to Fit. If you want to become part of Green Gang, that link is in the description as well. If you are currently a member, I want to thank you guys for consistently supporting the channel. How you doing, Bethany? She says, good evening, gentlemen. Therese is in the house as well. Trev is he's on vacation, man. He's on vacation. So he'll be back with us next week. Like, okay, this for you right here, Darwin. That's not dark enough in the back. You know, look like Morpheus. I see what happened, Darwin. I was kind of checking out your note that you had put up there, what you accidentally did. I can't hear you, man. You're on mute.
My bad. I was hoping Sweeney saw that so he can help me figure out how to get my mustache back in a matter of 48 hours, but he ain't say nothing, so fuck that nigga.
Anyhow, man, let's go ahead and get it started. What's going on, Erica? How you doing? Teresa, hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and support the channel. I don't ask for super chats, but a like button would be just good enough if you can do that because the likes are free. Likes are free. We got an excellent show ahead for you guys. I got some amazing topics that I picked out. I know you guys are looking forward to the main topic, which is verbal abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse. But you know how we do. We got to build up to the main topic. And we're going to kick it off with this, man. Y'all ready? I'm going to play a clip. Just want to make sure everybody paying attention. Everybody ready? M. White, you there? You good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Our first topic of the night is why some men try to rescue every woman they date. Why some men try to rescue every woman they date. I'm going to play the clip. Make sure we're paying attention. Here we go.
Why they keep attracting people who they have to fix, who they need to fix, I want to make them better. I want to make them better. And so what happens is, but what we don't realize is the person that has the need to make them better needs to be better. Because that need in them is what's driving them. And then that need allows them to get with broken people after broken person, because they're saying, I gotta fix them. I gotta fix them because it gives me something. Now, we don't do anything. Every human being does things for one or two reasons. Either because it gives them pleasure or it helps them avoid pain, right? It is giving this person pleasure to want to fix the person. But in the end, sometimes, a lot of times it doesn't work though, Rico. You know why it doesn't work? Because they realize, I gotta fix you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't figure it out till it's too late.
A person who has the need and they find it amazing to fix somebody that's broken could potentially not feel or have the same value for that person once they're fixed, because their love
that's so
is
true.
Fixing.
Yes.
So I can't treat you with the same love when you're fixed and whole versus when you're broken, because I find you being broken amazing.
That is so profound what you just said.
When the project is over, then what?
Then what?
Because now I can't get my need met.
Yep.
I have this emotional need, and there's a book I read that is amazing, called His Needs, Her Needs. And in this book, I've read it 3 times, but I realized something, that when relationships fail, what the relationship essentially is an unwritten contract that says, I am going to meet your emotional need. That's what the written contract. And y'all ever notice how when the relationship go awry, what'd you say? They ain't meet my needs no more. They're not meet my needs, right? And so This unwritten contract simply says that if you and I are in a relationship, my goal is to attempt to meet your emotional need. When the person ceases to believe that you want to meet their emotional needs, you know what they say? I'm out.
Yep.
That's what they say. Because now whether it's real or imaginary, they believe that you no longer want to meet their needs. Now the problem with that is the other person may not even know what your needs are. And if you've never communicated what those needs are, how can they know?
They can't.
How can they know?
Absolutely.
That's just my thing.
So my perspective is exactly yours. And that was actually going to be my question to you is what does that person, the person who needs that validation, what is their work? Because they're looking for something. And I'm gonna read this, but I want to ask the question first. Like they're looking for something. They're looking for the validation or what have you. But what is the work that they need to do to fill that void that makes them desirous of having to fix other people? Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, make sure you check out the.
All right, let's go ahead and get it cracking, man. I'm gonna go to you, Law. What do you think motivates some men to take on a rescuer role in their romantic relationships?
Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, and I'll be honest, so that's not something I've never really had the desire to fix broken people like that. Yeah, but I've also never really been in that situation. But when I see others doing it, I feel like maybe it's because they are, like I said, fulfilling their own needs. You know what I mean? If you trying to, you know, fix something that's broken, you getting gratification on seeing the changes in it. You know, some people want to do that. I'm cool without the baggage, though. You know what I mean? I'd just rather not deal with it. But you see a lot of cats try and come and swoop them up and, you know, take care of all her previous mistakes and make an honest woman and all that. So some people get a kick out of it, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna go to you, Sherm. Same question. What do you think motivates some men to take on a rescuer role in romantic relationships?
Well, I feel like it has to be something that first of all attracts him to that woman and wants to deal with that woman. So figuring out what that is like the first key, because I don't feel like a man a man isn't a nurturer to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like a nurturing type of guy. I look at that as like a feminine type of thing. So a guy wanting to fix a woman, I personally have never seen that ever in my life. It's more so like, man, this girl, she crazy, but she a freak. You know what I'm saying? She crazy, but she fine, or she this, but she could do this. You know what I mean? There was always some other driving excuse that will make a man want to deal with a woman that may be broken. But doing it to like fix her, I have never came across anything like that. So while I was watching the video, it was kind of confusing to me. I feel like more so a woman being a nurturer will try to fix a man. But the other way around, maybe it's like those guys' personal experience where they will be like, I'm a fix a broken woman. But one thing I do know is that a man should guide a woman and show her the right way and teach her and give her wisdom, first and foremost. But I don't feel like that is trying to fix her. It's just like, look, baby, if you're around me, you're going to boss up in your life regardless. I'm going to give you some game. I'm going to give you wisdom. I'm going to give you this, that, and the third. So that's my whole perspective of that.
All right. I'm going to go to you, Darwin. How does the rescuer mentality impact the dynamics of a relationship, especially for the woman involved?
Well, I think for the woman, if a man comes into her life and rescue her or fix her, I think it has a huge impact on the relationship as far as respect and appreciation. Because if you take someone from their lowest point or with their flaws, and you're able to apply something that can make them better, so they can perform or they can activate something inside themselves that lean towards the best interest of the relationship for the couple, I think you get a massive amount of respect from a woman if a man is able to do that. And I think what motivates men to be able to do that, motivates men to want to do that in the first place, is being able to, through your life and experience, to be able to tack on the skills to be able to deal with women that are broken and recognize that just like us men, we come from homes, we come from situations and experiences that disenfranchise from being able to be compatible or be fit for a relationship. So being able to have some type of grace or courtesy for a woman, and having the skill to be able to work with a woman, and it'll make her appreciate that. But I was listening to what the gentleman said. I think we just need to know what the problem is and how to make the person aware of it. And if we can do that, and then we can try to team up and try to figure out, together how to fix it if we value our relationship. So I don't think the man necessarily need to be better than the woman. He just need to be able to recognize that the issues that she have can impact the relationship. And hey, look, I'm pointing the finger at it. I'm willing to work with you and fix it. And I believe if men are able to be honest and transparent and communicate that, and women will be respectful and appreciative of it.
All right. Kenny P, I'm coming to you next, sir. Do you think you want to say something, Sweeney? Oh, I thought you hopped off the mic. Kenny, do you think men who try to rescue every woman they date are seeking validation or fulfilling a deeper need?
No, I do not. I actually think they're broken people. They say you attract what you are most times, and if it's tattered, you kind of magnetize to it. I can't see somebody who is actively within every relationship seeing something that could possibly be very problematic and toxic down the line, wanting to think that they can wave their magic wand and cure that woman of all her ills. That is foolish, non-aspirational, and you're going to get a lot of more lumps than good results if those are the women that you tried to fix. We're responsible as human beings to fix our own selves. So you trying to play a superhero, that's only for the movies. That's Pretty Woman. That's Officer and a Gentleman. That's Tyler Perry, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Ain't nobody singing no soap. I don't think that's feasible. And before I'm done, hey Sweeney, I apologize. I was out of line last week. And as loud as the offense should be, as loud as the apology, and I have to get out the way before the show commences. So,
I appreciate that, bro.
all right.
M. White, I'm coming to you next, sir. You there?
Yeah.
All right. In your experience, how do you typically respond to men who try to play the role of a savior? Or how do women typically respond to men who try to play the role of a savior?
So I think it's dependent on the man and the woman. It's because it's various types of people who do this. It's men who like they'll be in the bust down session, be the last one there, and then they wife the girl at the end of the session, and then they be in a whole relationship with her. And the reason why I think those men do that is, well, the men that I know that have done that, they had the same profiles. They both was in foster care. They both either had very strained relationships with their mom, or they seen their mom in such a vulnerable place due to drugs that they wanted to save her. And when they seen a woman who they thought was in despair, they wanted to save that woman. So it was it was an attachment to the need to have wanted to save their mom and seeing their mom in that woman. Is my personal opinion. I also think what Darwin said was true too, but I think it's a limit to that in regards to the return on investment when you invest in somebody that's probably in a position that if you help them out of that, they'll be grateful for that. I tend to lean to within my skill set wanting to work with a woman who has something I know I can like, not, I wouldn't, so broker wouldn't be the right word, but how Sherm was saying, you lead and guide. Some people, I see the path for them to lead them right up out of it, and it could kind of walk that line of like maybe it was something wrong, like say it's a self-esteem issue. Bam, we could work on that. So I don't know if they considering that broken, but I definitely would help a woman build her self-esteem up. I think the example they was providing though was something nefarious, because once that person got fixed, they no longer serve the purpose. If I'm trying to fix somebody, it's to make them the best person that they could possibly be. It's not to keep them in a state of needing. It's to build, like leaders create leaders. It's to build them to be better, and hopefully they could pay it forward. And I try to do that same thing with men a lot of times until it's to my detriment.
All right, I appreciate that. We'll go to you, Mr. Shannon. How can a man's desire to rescue a woman create an imbalance of power or dependency in a relationship?
Wait, what's the question again that you just asked me?
How can a man's desire to rescue a woman create an imbalance of power or dependency in the relationship?
Only if she is not interested in accepting the information that she's given from the man that's trying, or he's trying to force it on somebody who doesn't want it or need it. Often the imbalance that you're asking about often comes when somebody's trying to shove something down your throat. You're giving unsolicited advice. On the flip side, somebody's asking for help and nobody's giving it to them. You know, a woman is out there in need and she got a man that just, he's kind of like, he's off of it. He's not really interested in helping her at all. So that could be an imbalance both ways. Then a balance is a woman that don't want help and a man that don't want to give it. A balance is a woman that needs help and a man that loves to help. Darwin, every time I look at, I got, what happened to the mustache?
I was edging my mustache up, and my 1-year-old bit me on the ankle.
I had to ask you, brother. I'm like,
So
what? Every time I look at you, I see Wallow from $1 Million Worth of Game and shit. I'm like, when did Wallow get here and shit? Shout out to my man Darwin. Listen, according to the video, man, why some men try to rescue every woman they date. Listen, personally speaking, I think everything they said on that is word salad. I do not agree with either point that they made on that video. Personally, I have a propensity to attract birds with broken wings. Me, that's the kind of guy I am. But I do not need to fix people because I'm broken. I fix people because that's just what I do. You know, my first degree, my first major when I went to college in 1989 at the age of 17 was liberal arts, because my father was an educator at the Los Angeles Unified School District. He retired from LAUSD, 44 years. Teaching is just in me, you know, and I build people and I gravitate, just me personally, towards those who need the most work. And if I see that in a romantic relationship, then I'm on it. It's not because I'm lacking somewhere or whatever it is that I see a need in a woman and she needs her wing fixed because it's broken. It's because mine is broken too. And I'm trying to, no, I don't agree with none of that. And in fact, she also, the girl said, the brother said that those who fix people no longer want them after they've been repaired or something to that effect. Has anybody see, and this is why you got to be careful where you get your advice from. Has anybody ever remodeled a house? Has anybody ever purchased a fixer-upper? No. Oftentimes we buy our homes. We love that house after we put a lot of work into it. I don't know how many of you guys are homeowners.
Yeah.
You enjoy the remodeling or the change or the the butterfly that your house turned into after you put your hand to it. It's not that you say, okay, well, damn, I didn't fix this house up. I can't wait to get rid of it now. You know, this is boring now that I fixed. No, I'm about to enjoy this house. Let me be a little bit more practical. Has anybody ever restored a car, a vintage car? I used to low ride.
Yeah.
Do you somehow think that instantly, once you restore a 6.4 Chevy, once you restore a 72 Corvette Stingray, cars that I've put back together again, that I just suddenly want to get rid of them? Oh, this is boring now. There's nothing else to do.
Not. You'll sit there and stare at it in the driveway for hours.
Stare at it in the driveway and don't let nobody lean on it. Don't you lean on? Do you know how much sweat equity and work I put on restoring that? Get off that car. Love that car. And oftentimes we turn those cars into heirlooms and pass them down to our kids if we can, especially if there's no money issues. We don't just say, oh man, this is bored, I want to get rid of it. So what makes anybody believe that if you put the work in on helping somebody become a better version of themselves, oh, I'm bored with her now, I want to get rid of her? No, you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Sure.
Why do I do it? Go ahead.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Much respect to you, man. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You lived a lot. This man done been to college, done did low riders, done
all of it.
Done did me. He done did all of this stuff. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You done it all, man.
But why though? You know, one of the reasons why, Sweeney, is because I'm full of knowledge and resources. I've never been homeless ever in my life, but I like to help the homeless people. It's not because I have some connection with homeless and I know what it's like to be out there on the streets in the cold. No, I know that they can do better and some of them need better. And if I can help, I'm there. I ain't never been broke, but I like to help people if I can. I like to employ my people, especially people that look like me. It's not, well, you know, I remember back when I was poor. No, that's not the case. Never have been ever in my life. I think somebody had mentioned, I think it was M. White was talking about leaders. Leaders are measured by how many, leaders are not measured by how many followers they have, but by how many leaders they create. There's a certain sense of pride in watching somebody become better, especially your woman. I have a mastermind group. Why? Why do I even have a YouTube channel trying to give game and knowledge and help and give insight to those who need it? I love fixing. Ask Lapeef. Lapeef had in Atlanta 2 years ago. He had a meetup where hundreds of us all flew to Atlanta to do a gathering because JR put together a dope ass event for the whole weekend in Atlanta. The moment I met JR, that's the first time I met him in person. I start looking around his equipment. JR, no. What messing with his camera settings? Because I just is there a way that I could be of service to help you in what you're doing, JR? Looking at his switch, and he was switching cameras and connecting it to the system and setting up all his different angles. And I'm here. JR's look. Everybody else is like, "Hey, how you doing? Where's the bar?" Me, I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Where you need me?" Not because I want help from JR during my event or when I had an event because I needed it. It's because some people like to help people, and that's just it, man. And when it comes to people, fixing people who need it sometimes gives a sense of pride. Listen, men, we provide, we protect, we procreate, and what's the fourth P? We problem solve. It's built in. It's baked in the cake. And for some guys, it's baked in more than others. And so if we get a woman that we know she needs a little help, she needs a little knowledge, we want to work on her vocabulary, we want to work on her looks, we want to work on her education, we want to get her in a skill or whatever, or sharpen up her skills where she could advance further on, or maybe she has an attitude problem and you dealing with it and you're going through it, you're getting cut up and beat up and punched. You know, some people rescue dogs, not because they needed rescuing, but because the dog needed rescuing, because you help because you can. And I'm one of those guys. So I don't agree with anything that they said in that video. People don't always pick a woman or somebody in a romantic relationship to help them because they need helping. Sometimes people just got resources and knowledge and want to impart that on people who need it. And we just need more people like that. That's me.
All right. Appreciate that, Shannon. I'm going to go to you. Sweeney, how can a man's desire to rescue a woman create an imbalance? The same question. How can a man's desire to rescue a woman create an imbalance of power or dependency in the relationship?
I hit the wrong button. I tried to hit mute, hit leave studio. My bad.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't even understand the question, JR. I'm trying to. I had the same thoughts as Shannon. I don't understand why we try to make everything sound toxic, and that's what that sound like some type of Munchausen syndrome by proxy or some shit. Like that's what they try to make it sound like, and it's like, no, men tend to like to rescue the women that they give a shit about. Anytime you like a woman and she comes to you with some shit, if you like her, if not love her, you're gonna try to solve her problems. Because that's what we do. We try to help those that we give a fuck about. And them trying to apply this toxic twist to it is exactly the reason why people go into relationships and they start trying to find toxic traits and shit that don't actually be toxic. Oh man, that man is trying to help me out. He must be trying to do something. He must be trying to get some power over me, or it must be something wrong with him that he's trying to help me out. No, he just give a fuck about you. And I mean, I don't know any man that try to rescue every single woman that they run into. I don't know a man that does that. If y'all know him, I point him out, because I don't know one solitary man that tries to rescue every woman that he comes in contact with or that he dates.
You never met somebody that fall in love with all the hoes? Like everyone that they just instantly fall in love.
But
they usually become a pastor.
The operative word though is that he fell in love with her. He didn't go out his way to try to. He's just one of those motherfuckers that fall hard. God knows what reason. But he still, like, he wasn't, his initial thing wasn't, I need to save this woman. It was, man, I fucking love this chick. You like, so you just met her.
No, so I think that's a symptom. If you fall in love with people you don't know, if something wrong with them, you're gonna try and fix them. I think that kind of is part of the pathology.
But I mean, even that's extreme though. Like, I don't know very many men that fall in love with. And I guess that's the problem, is that we talk about these very broad things that are actually more benign and good in nature, and then we try to find the extreme that will make it just wrong. Like, even in this situation, men tend to take care of their women. They tend to, like Shannon said, problem solve, help their women out, try to make them the best version of themselves, and it's innate in us. And then we try to find something about it that just says that to try to give an ick to it. I don't think this is one of those kind of things that needs an ick. Shit, women already apply enough icks to everything that men do already. We're gonna add helping them out to it. But I guess.
All right,
have you ever had a friend, like, all right, have you ever seen, like, if we take it off romantic partners, so like, say you the homie that's up, and your other homie, he follow you around, he come to the club, you pay for everything. When y'all go out, everything on you the guy. You keep him around because you know he don't got it, and you trying to show him some love. And once he get up, y'all not friends no more. Could that be similar to what this scenario is kind of sounding like? No. Okay.
Because the person who would destroy or sever that relationship is the person that got up. That's normally how y'all stop being friends. It ain't the person that's been helping them and giving them the entire time that severs that relationship. It's normally the person that got up and feel like they don't need the person no more.
So can y'all stop using metaphors so we can kind of get some details? When you say got up, what do you mean? Like, what the hell is that?
Look at you, black. You don't know what got up mean?
I mean, I do, but I mean, for the sake of the audience, you want to kind of
like black.
You saying they leveled up as far as financially? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, man. Come on now.
Do that then. I like that better. I mean, some fool in the chat might think he got a boner or some shit.
That's the only reason why you said that shit.
No, I ain't say that.
That's the only reason why you said that shit.
I'm saying, bro, you gotta be
Pause.
detailed.
You could have just said pause, bro. You went. That was a long about way to say pause.
A long about what? I know we got women watching. I just want to pose this question to the panel. How can women set boundaries with men who exhibit rescuer tendencies without damaging the relationship?
Stop begging for money all the time.
Hold on, wait. First of all, why would a woman put an obstacle in front of a man who's trying to rescue her?
She don't want to be saved.
I'm saying if they already dating. Okay, so let's just try to get some context on this. When you say rescue a woman that you're dating, or you mean like, okay, look, she's finna fuck this relationship up. I've been there before. I've experienced this situation. She don't have any idea where this shit can go. And I know she want to stay in this relationship. Let me apply my skills and my experience and my knowledge so we can continue in our relationship. Is that what we mean by save her? Or are y'all saying, oh, she for the streets, let me save her?
I don't know. The example that JR, I ain't never seen that creature. A woman that don't want resources and help and assistance from whether it's from a friend, homie, next door neighbor, lover, fuck buddy, friends with benefits. Government. But in this mythical, magical land of women that don't want men to help, women need to stop accepting it and just let them know straight up. Because oftentimes men want something in return for their investment. So if she wants to set boundaries and she doesn't want assistance, help, advice, resources from a guy, I think they pretty much know how to say no or ignore a motherfucker. But if she don't, just tell them straight up. That's what I think. Now, can that pose some danger for some women? Is that one of those situations where, you know what, I gave him my number because I don't wanted him to smack me. You know, we got extremes, but women, that if you got boundaries and you don't want somebody to cross over them, tell them. I don't know how else to really. I wouldn't have any other advice other than just say it straight up and find out how fast somebody will stop giving you those resources. I just never met a woman that don't want nobody's resources.
So the men that will try and save the woman, even after she say no, will still try and give her the money and will try and force it on her to the point where, because have you ever seen Soft White Underbelly? I don't know if y'all familiar with that show. That dude Mark always trying to save a prostitute. Like he consistently trying to save a prostitute. Even if they tell him no, they good, he's steady sending them money, steady trying to get them away from their pimp, steady trying to do this, and they always backslide on him. And I think he got the perfect personality for what we talking about right now. I know it's not a romantic relationship.
What do you mean by backslide?
Like, so they pretend like they gonna leave their pimp. He'll put them in a hotel. They'll be supposed to be getting their life together and moving on. Next thing you know, the pimp live in a hotel and she turning tricks up out the hotel.
Oh no, that ain't the same thing of what Shannon's talking about. What are you talking about? Is it?
Why do we got to use a stripper? Can we use something like the regular women we run into?
I mean, the regular women that you run into, most of them is not gonna slap a gift horse in the mouth. Women lack morals and ethics at some point in time when you flashing enough yards in their face and you're allowed to take them out of that poverty position. A lot of women ain't gonna say no. And we know women like this. And we just don't want to admit it, but we've also faced women like this. They lead with seeing what they can get out of you. A lot of women don't have morals and ethics as we think. You know how many guys like in say Shan's position? I'm not counting his dollars or anything like that. If he want that woman, he could break her morality, kind words, and eventually keeping that pressure on lavish comforts that she's not used to, you think she ain't gonna return to what's comfortable?
All right, let me go ahead and go to Brother Hink. How can both men and women work together to build relationships based on equality and mutual support rather than rescue?
So you repeat it for me. Man, somebody's mic was messing up. Could you
All right.
repeat it for me again?
Yes, sir. How can both men and women work together to build relationships based on equality and mutual support rather than rescue?
How can both men and women build a mutual support? Okay. So let me say this. Men rescue women all the time. That's they always done it. They always done it. They're gonna forever do it. The reason why my man E40, shout out to Earl Stevens, came up with a song called Captain Save-A-Ho, because that's what dudes were doing. They was looking to rescue them, bail them out, pull them up. We hear it on these YouTube streets all the time, talking about they don't care about a woman's money. Well, that's you rescuing them. You financially rescuing them. And more than likely, if they broke, they mentally unstable anyway, because they ain't got shit for themselves. So you rescuing a woman all the time. So when men sit there and say, I don't rescue me, you're lying. You're a goddamn lie. You doing it. You don't realize you're doing it. You might not want to accept it or admit it. You doing it, but you're saving a hoe. I don't believe in doing that shit, man. Why? As a man, why would I want to waste my time on a fixer-upper? Now, I got a 75, Shan. I know what you're talking about, restoring an old car. I got one I restore. And when you put work into it, man, it's a thing of beauty. Sit down.
What is it? A chicken box?
Chevy Impala.
I thought it was a Caprice, but okay, it's 75.
Oh, no. Chevy Impala. But guys do it on a regular basis, man. And I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. Why, as a man, you establish yourself to a certain extent, you're gonna come down and pull somebody up like that. Now, if it's a family member you trying to help out, look out for, understand. But if it's a woman you trying to have a real relationship with, you shouldn't be out there saving them like that. Because guess what? More than likely, as soon as you bail them out, as soon as you lift them up and build them up, the heifer gonna leave your ass. She gonna find something better. Because she feel like, well, shit, if he pull me up, I know I'm good enough to get somebody else to pull me up. You know, you got some women that are delusional on thinking like that and moving like it. But then they find out on the other grass ain't always green on the other side. They realize, damn, I should have stayed with that other dude. He appreciated me when I didn't have shit. So as we need to do it together, yeah, look, if we both down and out, we both trying to come up, I understand, because we both ain't got shit. So we got to work together to build it up. I'm okay with that. I understand that. But as a man who's already established, trying to pull a woman up, I never agree with that shit. I'm not going to try to fix her mentally if she's unstable. That's going to be a problem in my neighborhood already. If she's mentally unstable, she's always want to argue, fuss, and fight. She'll go off at the drop of a dime. She's crying all the time because she's depressed and going through some anxiety and shit. I ain't got the patience to deal with that. Not me.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right on.
Well, what if you can't get the woman you want except if she broken?
What?
Oh no, he can always get the woman he wants, though. That's never been a problem.
Not
Me
you,
not getting
man.
the woman I want. Okay,
I'm talking
right
about so like some women won't date men until they like fall off. Like it's certain men that they will not be attracted to, but once they stock start plummeting or they have an issue,
Hit the wall.
other men are passing over on them. Then they become attractive. Could you see them doing that in that scenario? I'll give you an example. You know how men be like, I don't want to date nobody with kids, right? But if she got 2 or 3 kids and she wouldn't date you then, now you're willing to work with her with the 2 or 3 kids that aren't yours because she would not have talked to you prior to having them kids, but she realized that there was an adjustment in the market. Do you think that's an example of what we're talking about?
No. What you saying is her value was at a level where she could get somebody better than you. And then she caught a few IEDs, boom, boom, boom. We got 3 kids. Now her value done went down. So now she's on the same weight class as you. I
Right?
think
Wouldn't that be fixing her though? Jumping in to fix a scenario that you ain't create.
no. I think if you got a woman that's looking at you as her equivalent whenever she got 2 kids versus not, then I think it's time for you to look in the mirror and be like, damn, how the fuck am I level with a single mom with 2 different baby fathers or whatever? Why am I not on the same level of her without the kids? I would make a judgment call. I'm like, damn, bro, like I would go to my homies and be like, bro, is it really like that with me? Is this something I gotta fix? Because ain't no way. Ain't no way I qualify her. I only qualify for this woman when she got 2 kids versus her being single and impressionable.
Ain't that Steve Harvey and Boyce Watkins story?
Oh, shit. That's fire.
JR.
Probably a list of other people I can go down.
That question that you asked, Hink.
Like I said, yeah, go ahead, man.
No. I was go ahead, finish up, Hink. It was your segment.
No, what I was going to say with Marcus, just those 2 examples are great examples of men doing things like that, pulling women up, saving them, bailing them out, doing what they do. Guys do it all the time, so it's not like it's an uncommon thing. We making it sound like, nah, men don't do. No, unfortunately, they do. But go ahead, Shan. My bad.
JR, read that question that you have for Hink again.
How can both men and women work together to build relationships based on equality and mutual support rather than rescue?
The equality part is troubling, but the answer to that from me is reciprocation and appreciation. Typically, see, people talk about equality and equity. Let's remove that because that's a whole different discussion. But if you got somebody, if you don't want to have a problem with somebody that's helping you, find a way to help them back. You need to reciprocate. Ladies, you need to reciprocate if you got a man in your life that's helping you with your shit. He got issues too, and they may not be big. And if he's a leader type of guy, he may not even tell you that he has any. But you need to kind of scan the room and see what's going on in his life where you can kind of become valuable to him in some way, especially if he's bringing a lot of value to your life. So reciprocation and appreciation is like gold to men. It's almost like it's equivalent to respect. For somebody, in fact, it will fuel him to continue helping you even harder and more intense than he may have been doing on his own. If he feels appreciated, if he knows that you appreciate what he's doing for you and you're helping him in the ways that he needs it, it may not be big. You might not be able to do much. This is where, what do you buy somebody for their birthday when they have everything? Find that everybody, even billionaires need new underwear. Everybody needs something. And if you are just stepping over stuff and ignoring what's going on in this life, and all you're doing is take, if you're a taker and not a giver, then it's going to have an imbalance. But if we're addressing what JR just asked me, if you were to reciprocate, and this goes both ways. This goes with a woman that's helping a man. He ain't got shit. He's bringing him out the mud. He's probably down and out on his luck, and she's pouring into him, and he's not doing shit back for her. That's not going to work for her long term either. Reciprocate. Everybody loves reciprocation, JR. So I believe that and appreciation, and I'm talking about overt appreciation, not not no quiet thank yous, but fucking almost laying it on, pouring it, saying it out loud, showing it, giving him the things that he needs. Then you'll find that balance between and that common ground between those people, and I think it'll last a lifetime.
All right. I put a poll up, and the question was, why do some men try to rescue every woman they date? 33% says they feel needed and validated. 54% said it's their role to protect, and 12% says they don't want control. No, they want control of power. I appreciate everybody that took the poll. We do have a couple super chats came through. Advanced perception. $5 says the simple answer is the guy was raised to do so. Men raised to be providers want to be heroes. The problem is that it's not often appreciated. Advanced perception again says y'all see Out of Time with Denzel Washington. Laughing emoji.
Yeah, that's exactly what Hink was saying, man. It's like once you get them, or even Sweeney said it too, and Darwin was like, "What are you talking about? What does get up mean?" You help these people, man. That a lot of times they think that they did it on their own. That's one of the issues that I have. It's like, you forgot where you got that from. You can give somebody some information and give them some game or teach them something. Next thing you know, they're regurgitating everything that you taught them as if they came up with it on their own, and pay no homage to the person that gave them game.
I think you're right, Shannon, but I think more importantly, the reason why a lot of women don't appreciate and reciprocate is you got a lot of women that growing up in society that has this entitlement mindset. So if they see a man coming to save them, they see a man come and fix them and bail them out and be there financially and provide and protect and do all these things, they say, well, that's what you're supposed to do as a man. So they don't feel compelled to reciprocate. Like, that's your duty. You're supposed to do that. And I think that's on the man to whenever he goes out and be actionable and start doing these things, to be like, hey, look, now don't get it twisted. The shit I'm doing for you, you know what I'm saying? I want respect and appreciation for this shit. There's a lot of women out there that feel like a man is just supposed to bend over backwards for a woman. No, you gotta let it be known. You gotta figure. You might not have. It might not be safe to communicate it the way I just said it, but you got to figure out how to be tact with it, so she can understand it without being triggered. You know how women's emotions is.
Fuck that shit, man. Fuck, man. What the shit is that? You gotta let Darwin. Why do I gotta be tactful about you treating me right?
You asking me that?
Do that?
I think the better.
What you talking about? How you gotta be tactful and don't hurt them.
The better person asks is the women that, not me.
No, but you making a statement though, Darwin. Like, we got to be saying it in a nice way so we don't hurt their feelings.
So is the statement I'm making? Is the statement I'm making unfamiliar? Is it unfamiliar?
No, it's just I don't agree with it. So I'm not saying it's not familiar. I just don't agree with it. But that's part of our men's problem now. We done got way too soft than the men of yesteryears, and now women are so empowered that they could feel like they could talk to you any type of way. Look, we experienced it the other day. We experienced on Sunday and on a Monday and a last Sunday that they feel like you can talk to you anyway. And when you do bring it to attention or do try to hold accountability, now they feel like they attack. Now they feel like you're ganging up on them and they ready to hit that goddamn red X. No, that's some bullshit. Look, Kurt, guys, if this woman is not automatically doing it, that lets you know right then and there, yeah, she's not the woman for me. She says she is a nurturing type woman. Why do I got to remind her and bring it to her attention on how to do that? It should be a natural thing for her. It should be a natural. Only thing I should have to do is tweak it a little bit. Well, I appreciate you cooking this, but I don't like this. I like this. Go ahead, man.
I think what I meant was being really precise on what it is that you want in return for the things that you're doing. So, like, if I'm going out here and bending over backwards, I'm doing everything. I don't want my dick sucked from the back, something like that. Like, I want you to be specific with these women. Like, I want head at lunch, dinner, whatever it is. It ain't even got to be sexual. It could just be whatever the hell you want.
I got
let
you.
it be known and don't be afraid of it.
Already be sucking your dick. You just got to tweak a little bit. Tell how you want it done. That's it.
Exactly.
But she's
That's
not.
all I'm
You
saying.
make it sound like. But Sweeney, you make it sound like she's not doing it all. You looking at her dry dick, the motherfucker. Man, I wish I could have my dick sucked. Man,
don't be throwing me in there, man. Don't be throwing me in there.
That was a Freudian slip. He meant Darwin.
I know what he meant.
You said Sweetie, but you was talking to Darwin.
It's my bad. I'm sorry. I don't know nothing about what's he talking about.
I'm just saying. I get what you're saying, Hank. But every man know his woman, how to talk to his woman specifically. The way you talk to your woman might not work for the way I talk to my woman, and vice versa. I'm just saying, whenever you able to develop that connection, you're able to better establish an effective way to communicate. And I've established that, and I'm not going to just change it because, I'm supposed to be this way. This is what works. and I'm happy of it, and I'm happy with the results. That's all I'm saying.
But that should be something. She shouldn't be a woman that should already been discussed in. That should already been discussed before she was your woman, before she's your wife. If you
And where did
waiting
she
that
get
late in
that
the
from?
game,
Where did she get that
it's too
from?
late.
Where did she
What do
get
you
that
mean?
from, Hank? The
Where'd
ability
she
to
get what from?
already have that quality or whatever that trait you're saying she should already be able to. Where did she get that from? Her upbringing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Conditioning, you know what I'm saying? Being molded into be a woman to be able to, but we can
Okay,
understand
cool.
that a lot of us come from homes where that's not it's not prevalent, it's not evident. So when you
Well,
recognize
yes,
that and you know that
but
you
now
could deploy.
you also learn that over a period of time too. I mean,
Yeah, but
look here.
I think it's a
always
matter
the
of
most.
having compassion and grace. And if you got the skill, like I think, like Shannon said, some guys ain't gonna have the skill to go see a broken down BMX and put that motherfucker together. But the next guy who been working on bikes all his life, he look at that as, wow, that's a vintage 1987 BMX.
I think
I can fix that bitch up and sell it for $5,000.
So Darryl, you
what I'm
willing to
saying?
fix up a woman? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying I'm not gonna sit here and
I'm
make a
not.
blanket
So
statement to say I'm
maybe
willing
that's
to
why I
fix it.
take that stance. I'm not ready to build a heifer. You
Okay,
are, and that's cool.
let me say it like this. Let me say it like this, and maybe you can accept it or deny it. I have the capability and skills to be able to meet a woman halfway. If she's showing me that she want to be helped and she can be helped and she's fixable or whatever, you know, it's not too extreme. You know what I'm saying? Something that I can deal with and is in my skill capacity. Hell yeah. You're damn right. Because I know that I've been in situations where I needed fixing, and it ain't necessarily got to be an intimate relationship. It could be just I came from a broken home where crackheads and shit was running around smoking out pipes and burnt spoons and shit. You eating cereal, you got burnt spoon marks on your fucking spoon. I don't know what the fuck they was doing with that. I came from a place, but there's a family up the street that saw me and was like, yo, this dude, he's broken. You know, this family had the capability and the skills to be able to nurture me and bring me back to life and put me on a path. And they saw that in me. So, you know what I'm saying? That's similar. I look at it that way.
I got you. So, I think it was Marcus who asked the question, and I think he was asking it to you, Sweeney. Have you ever seen a man who was willing to build up every woman that he got with? Sound like Don was that type of man you talking about, because he is willing to build up every woman that comes across his goddamn path. He's willing to put the white flag. He is willing to put the white flag out for every woman to come in. You're welcome. I'll take your sick. I'll take your main. I'll take your dying. Bring them all in. I will fix a hoe up. Right on, Darwin.
Yeah, that's Pastor Darwin. That's if that. I don't think that. I think you exaggerating, Nick. But if it was Darwin, that'd be he'd be building the church. He'd be building the church.
God,
bring them all in.
Hank found an opening and he just went for it.
Sweeney, it might be that lack of mustache is what is just triggering me, man.
See, Darwin, you should see. That's why you need to go to your barber. Stop fucking around. Everybody go to your barber with half a mustache.
My barber in jail. He cutting niggas' head in jail, right? He been cutting them for 10 years now.
God damn.
Well, he could be braiding niggas' hair in jail, so that's
Lord. It's about to go left, ain't it?
Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Let's go ahead and keep it moving, man. Next topic is, how do you continue to connect with your woman? Let's get a couple of people, man. I know some of y'all are married and in some serious relationships. Have you ever been around some folks and it just looked like they just not connecting, look like they just existing, roommates? The chemistry don't seem like it's there. Even when you going out to dinner and they're just sitting there. And the highlight of their evening is when the food comes out. Of they bring some special sparkles, or maybe they might pour the caramel over the dessert or something like that. That's the highlight, because it's just dull. Have you guys ever witnessed that? So what are some of the things that you guys do to kind of continue to connect with your significant other?
or if you're in a serious relationship, just a couple people.
I know one of
Well,
the things I do is I make a priority that we don't have our cell phones at the dinner table. So we go out to dinner, no cell phones. You see everybody else, they're right across from each other on their cell phones, not even talking. And I'm like, damn, man, it's just that's bad. It's not good. And then you see people at their dinner table doing the same thing at their personal house. We had Thanksgiving, and I'm watching my cousins do the same shit, and I'm looking at my lady like, yeah, we can't be doing that. That's no way to be. You're so detached, you can't even have a real conversation because you're in your phone. So, to me, I think that's one thing that really helped me in my relationship of better communication, allowing us to communicate, by putting the phones down, even, during a time where it may be a dead period where, you're just sitting there looking at each other, not just saying nothing, you're just looking at each other. At least that's a form of communication to me.
What if it's a
But
couple
take it out,
across from you that's acting like that? What do you
I
do with
just,
that then?
I just shake my head and laugh at them, man. That's all I can do. It's not my business to go say something to them. That's on them.
I do not give a damn. That's their business. What thing I do, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Hey, if my wife within arm length of me, I'm grabbing that ass, them booty cheeks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it real. I've been in it a while. You know what I'm saying? So like in a newer situation, yeah, the phone may be an issue, this, that, and the other, but I'm with this woman every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot in, so it's not really I'm fortunate where I don't have that issue. You know what I'm saying? But to try and keep it, where there is that vibe, yeah, you come close to me, what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Come closer. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's all I got on that.
yeah, I do the same thing. Every time you walk by, I'm gonna at least like grab, smack, pinch, ass or titties in each pass by at every single
All
time.
that.
You say titties?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you don't
I
catch
like
a
ass
handful of
and
the
titties.
breast.
You say what?
I say, yeah, you gotta get a handful of the breast, man.
Yeah, yeah, both of them. I frequently compliment her. She sent me messages every single morning, like some inspirational "I love you" stuff. Uh, we
Man,
to the point.
cut the bullshit, man. She's sending you reels like everybody else wife is. She
She sent me
sent you
reels
32
too,
million
but I'm
reels.
talking about the text. So I get reels in like the remember the Instagram thing or what you would call it. But the text messages in the morning, like every morning, it'd be like hold on, I'll just read it. Hold on.
And while we're waiting on that, I got nothing.
Oh, come on, man. I guess Mark is about to ready to speak, but do you guys find yourselves trying to force it, or does it just come naturally?
It'd be like something like thinking about you giving me kisses get me through the day. It'd be something like that all the time.
That's
So every day I
Are
every
we
day
talking about? I think I misunderstood the question. Are we talking about what do we do when we just sitting at a table, or are we talking about what do we do when we sitting across from a couple? That's
No,
doing
we were just bringing up the couples and saying how you notice that they don't interact, like the connection is dead, it's dull at their table. So the question that I posed to the panel was just like, what do you do for the people that are married or in serious relationships? Like, how do you maintain that connection? How do you keep that chemistry going?
and a lot of looks too. Like these kids be doing some crazy shit, and we just be looking at each other like, "Did you see that shit?" And then shaking our head. It's a whole lot of like funny shit going on throughout the day. I don't know, man. It's just intimacy is intimacy. It ain't just sexual. You
I ain't gonna lie.
connecting throughout the day.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I make no assumptions about what people doing in their lives as far as like seeing them. Maybe they are at the time. Because me and my wife, we're next to each other every day. Every day we work in the same shop. Like she work right next to me.
Y'all got
So
inside jokes?
nah, not really. Not no more. Not like the old ones we used to have. But nah, we talk every day. So it's more like if y'all see me and her sitting at the dinner table and we on our phones, probably we done said everything we gonna say today.
Do y'all look at videos together and talk about the video?
Yeah, she showed. I tell you, bro. She sent
Matter of fact,
me
you
32
and her be
reels.
watching these shows on replay, and she be sitting there talking to you about this shit.
Like she had sent me the reel while she's sitting right next to me. So I don't. I look at people like sometimes they just, hey, whatever makes y'all work. As long as y'all ain't talking about getting out of it and moving on and doing other shit, stay where you at. But
yeah, but Sweeney, that's a difference with you because you work next to your wife though. Not everybody's working next to their wife. So what's the reason why there's no communication there though?
But that's what I'm saying though, because I don't know how. Like we don't know that they on the way to the damn restaurant. They didn't probably talk for the last 30 minutes. So they get to the restaurant. They just sitting there waiting on their food to get there.
I think it's two different types of people. It's one the scenario you talking about, then it's another one where they just don't seem compatible, but they in a relationship. I think that was the group JR was kind of asking about. Whereas like you ever seen that show? Damn, I think we talked about that, Sweeney, where they tied the people up, and I was like, if you notice, the dominant men all kept their women, and the women that was dominant, they tied the men up. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah.
That show where they was like long distance loving, and they met all in one house. You don't know? Damn, what the fuck is the name of it? We talked about this before. But in that show, God damn, I just had a brain fart. No, but in that show was a couple in there, and she was not attracted to him and didn't really like him. They was a couple. They go sit down at a
Is this marriage of convenience?
It's a relationship of convenience. That was the name of the show, though. The show, damn, I can't think of the name of the show. Somebody in the chat, I can't see it, but I'm sure they know what the show name is. Oh, Never Ever. Not my wife just said it to me. Never Ever Met. It's about
that, bro.
Oh shit. Well, that show was decent as hell. But so it was a couple on there that they couldn't like connect at all. When she first met him, she was turned off by him, but she stayed in a relationship with him. So she'll stay on her phone. He'll be trying to connect with her. She'll be like playing that shit off to the side, son of him. And it was clear to everybody else that relationship wasn't gonna work. But dude was adamant on trying to make that shit work. In them scenarios, I kind of just feel bad for the guy. Because when somebody don't want you, it's really hard to convince them to want you. In fact, it work in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like most of the time, if I see that, normally it's two like newly dating people or something like that. I rarely see people if they both got rings on their finger at the table and they look like the kind of couple that like I don't get that vibe from them. You know what I mean? But yeah, you might see that if it's just a new chick and he just taking this girl on a date for the first time and she may not really be that interested in him and stuff like that. But no, I don't often see that amongst couples that been together for a long time, if not married for a long time.
Do you sit on the same side as your wife when y'all go out to eat?
Nah, we sit across from each other.
Yeah, I definitely have to sit across. Like, we good.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm looking at the door, so
I ain't gonna lie. It always felt weird sitting right next to her. I ain't gonna like we got this whole booth right here. We got a booth seat, and we both sitting on the same side of the booth. First of all, I like my elbow room. I'm a big dude, so I got to eat. So I like my elbow room.
I think this question is tailored for people who may not know what to say if they in an awkward situation with their significant other and they just looking at their phones. So maybe try to give the audience or answer the question in a way where we're like, okay, here's some of the things you can do to try to spark a conversation.
I mean, but I feel like if you're already to that point, you should already know what to do.
Well, some people don't.
You know what I'm saying? You should already know that partner. How does it happen to become your significant? If that's not the thing,
How does it happen to what?
Become somebody you dating if y'all can't talk. So it happens. It can't happen. But look, so when I was talking to Sweeney about him and his wife discussing the show, you can find some of y'all got a mutual interest in, so y'all combined over that thing. Like looking at these shows or whatever it is, y'all can have discussions about what's going on in that show. And a lot of times that shit could parallel a conversation y'all might want to have within a relationship. Finding new things to talk, even if it's just like a book that you read and you like, hey, check this page out, woo woo, and you can have a whole discussion on something that you see within there. Like things that are thought provoking usually can provide discussion, and you can kind of delve into the the personality and the psyche of the person you're talking to. Me, I kind of like to pick apart different scenarios, so I really get to know the woman, my wife or women that I dated in the past. I would ask a lot of questions about the way they brain worked for my personal needs and as a means of intimacy, because that's part of my vetting, by understanding how your brain formulate thoughts and what you likely to do or not do based off of that.
But I mean, I don't know, because some of, like, certain scenarios, some people just don't feel like talking. Like, some people who ready to eat don't feel like talking before they eat, and then when they eat, they eat.
What?
Well, Sweeney, what do you do?
Like,
when
y'all
you
ever
wait?
had somebody?
Let's just be for real, bro. Like,
You waiting 20 to 30 minutes for your food to get there. So what do you do then? You just gonna just sit there in silence?
You have a drink and people watch. You take a drink and people watch. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't make assumptions about why people don't have conversations. Like, some people don't eat. Some people don't talk at the dinner table. Some people do. Some people talk.
let's assume they do talk, bro. Let's just assume they do.
Then if they
I would,
talk,
Sweeney,
then
how would you start a conversation with your significant other if it's just a dull, it's just an awkward moment and nobody's saying nothing?
I don't fucking know.
Ah, damn, Sweeney, man,
Jesus
you a
Christ,
hard
guy.
ass, bro.
I don't fucking
You a
know.
boring motherfucker.
All right,
Come
y'all.
on,
Hey,
man.
I'm gonna play this clip real quick, man. This is Eric.
Yeah, don't save his ass. Don't save him.
No, I'm not saving him. I just want to wait to get the clip in there, man.
Oh, like, that's just weird. Like, how do you start a conversation when there ain't no conversation? Shit, you don't. Shit, nothing to talk about.
Man, I just gave you how you do it. You find something like a show, a book or something.
It's a conversation. Y'all both just
Sweeney
sitting there
always
chilling.
want to go against the grain, bro.
Y'all be doing too much, man. Leave them people be.
That's your wife, man.
Bail him out, JR. Bail him out. Bail him out.
Leave them people be, man. Y'all be doing too much, man. Leave them people be. Be over analyzing people's situations and shit. They just hungry.
We talking
You
about
worried?
yours.
You?
We talking about
I'm just
yours, man.
hungry, nigga. I'm just trying to eat. Shit.
All right, here we go,
You
man.
look hungry. You look hungry.
I feel like as people are listening to this, they're like, dang, what they on? So with that being said, what are some of the things that you and your wife do to bond?
Yeah.
Like you just said, like this conversation that you getting from other people is not gonna make you want to stay to the restaurant close, implying that you and your wife could be at a restaurant and be like, dang, we shut this shit down.
Yeah, on
right? What are some of the things that y'all do to just really bond and really continue to connect with each other?
I think I always try to get to know her more, because I know that who I was when we met is not the same dude who I am today. You feel me? Like, every life experience is changing me. Every time something happens drastic in my life changes. Every time I reach a new goal, my head gets a little different. Every time I have a fall, I feel a little weaker. You feel me? But as life goes on, if those things are happening to me, I know that the same things are happening to her. So I think it's continuing to get to know her. So it's not like I know you because I know your favorite color. It's not like I knew you at 31, so now I know who you are at 41. Let me know the new you. In the same way somebody else is out there getting to know somebody else, I'm getting to know my girl again.
You saying curious.
Passionately.
Yeah.
Passionately.
I want to know about her because I'm not with her a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm with her every day. Even being married is like, bruh, we wake up, she's gonna take the kids to school, we gonna meet at the gym, and then I might not see her until the next day when we wake up again. You know what I mean? Like, I might go home and she sleep by the time I get home. So it's like being there, you know, is different from being present in conversation and actually having moments. So it's like it's more time away still, so it's more to learn.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm gonna go to you, KP, man. What are your thoughts about this? How do you continue to connect with your woman?
You gotta be creative. I've been in a couple of relationships and it's just like the dead air. I've been in those relationships where it's like, damn, I wish she would just go home. Or the one that did live with me was like, it was just not there. Then I realized, okay, I play a part in this. Now you have to realize how important this person is to you, because you're gonna have those lull periods How do you be creative? How do you keep a spark? How do you be spontaneous? And those are other things that you have to pretty much put in the pot when you're making a soup that works for two. And pretty much you just have to be on your toes and be able to read the room and see what is needed to be done rather than just sitting there mundane, because you can easily grow these feelings of resentment and then part ways. And if it's a relationship that really is worth something, you don't want to be one of those guys that look in retrospect and, have feelings like, dang, I wish I'd have stuck with it. That's the worst feeling to have. So staying on track with the question, just you got to be creative. You have to be spontaneous. You have to find a way. And that's the work that you put in to keep a relationship, which nowadays you don't see many do.
All right, what about you, Mr. Shannon Rawls?
I'm learning from everybody that's speaking. This is one of my lacks. This is one of my personality problems. So I can't tell you how we should continue to connect to women, because I'm a selfish guy, and that's been a pain point in most of my relationships. And so I'm listening to y'all brothers, and I'm learning on how I could be better in that regard.
Well, I can speak for you, and I appreciate it. Round of applause to Shannon for being humble and saying that we need more like that, because we got a lot of motherfuckers that just speak and they don't really be knowing what the fuck they talking about. At least Shannon tell you he don't know what the fuck he talking about.
Man, bros, what the hell wrong with you today, man?
What is wrong with you with this meme, bro?
What is wrong with you today, man?
Bro, you had your
I ain't gonna never talk my goddamn mustache, because I'm gonna be talking and acting
Bruce
like
ain't got no bite in him today, man. What's going on, Bruce?
Man, this is King Talk. This is place of peace. Send that shit over to Thursday.
You called Monday show, didn't
you? He ain't saying nothing. Even to set me up. Anyways, man, I could tell you what I do with me and my wife. I mean, if I could reach her, you know what I'm saying, I might reach up under her skirt sometimes. But that's some occasions. But commonly, I'll spark a conversation about things I know she's most interested in talking about, so she can have a lot of answers to it. And I'll just troll the fuck out my wife. She don't even know she's doing it. And that's just a way to entertain myself when we ain't got shit to talk about. It's like, let me see how many questions I can ask her. That's layered. The same goddamn question, but I didn't even tested her. I done asked the same damn question 3 different ways, and she still answered it. I'm like, this shit is so funny. But I mean, I just troll the shit out of my wife if I ain't got nothing to do. That's a good thing to do. And I'll yield.
All right. Lottie, got anything to add on this?
Fellas, make sure you grab the booty cheeks when she walk past. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she know you're still on her that way. Them kisses here and there. Yeah, that always matters.
Bro, and she's supposed to be sitting at the dinner table with you.
I mean, shit, I mean, anytime you within 5, you in arm's length is getting grabbed.
So you just gonna reach down by down the seat and just gonna grab.
Facts.
You're probably looking at you like, this nigga act like he ain't never had a woman.
Yes, Daddy.
She don't care. Hey, it's all good.
Who meme was that? Yo?
If I don't, she gonna think something. Gonna look at me crazy.
Hold on, wait. Is that Biz the poet?
Yeah, poet, and you know it.
Somebody said something about the Monday show. He pulled up. Let me guess. He was on the Monday show.
What's good, fellas?
Going on, man?
You need to get kumbaya up here today, man.
You need to get to what you're getting to, Darwin, because I play chess.
I haven't even watched the Monday show, bro. Sweetie tried to set a nigga up, bro. I never watched that shit, bro.
What you giggling for?
I'm just laughing because I know what some shit probably went down.
Nah, man, y'all, you taking it the wrong way. You taking it the wrong way.
Hey, Goose, don't get at him today. Stall him out,
It,
dude.
it
She
was
ain't got
it
no
was
money cash.
it was just
Stall
real.
him
It was
out.
just real cool. Like, you know, now everybody try. We all kumbaya up here. You know what I mean? Bruiser out here handing out unnecessary compliments and shit. I'm like, man, what did you must have watched Monday's show? We done all came together. JR done brought everybody together on some kumbaya shit. So I'm like,
Don't worry about it. It ain't no attack on you, KP. You in the clear.
I'm
You
not
have
worried
no worries.
about you.
I'm just saying, if you was concerned that it was about you, I'm just saying.
Not
you in
at
the clear.
all. Slept good that night.
Oh shit.
So why did you
Go
need to?
again.
Why did you feel the need to say anything then?
Because I know you. You think I'm not
Okay.
listening?
I haven't said anything indirect towards you.
No, you're doing all day,
Come on,
every
bro.
day, even on Sundays.
I mean, today I haven't, bro. I just really haven't.
You should have shaved off the rest.
Damn. Shout out to the Gooch, boy. He's still in the building. Y'all
You
better
had to keep
respect my
it.
dog.
You
Better respect
For
him.
real though, I haven't. I've been cool, bro. I just been chilling, bro. But I'm
And you,
interested in.
here's how you a liar. I seen you in the
Oh,
chat.
shit.
Damn.
So I was just waiting for it. I don't miss nothing,
Call his
Bruiser.
bluff.
What did I do? I haven't even been in the chat, bro.
You gonna stand there and lie?
Somebody must be got a burner account or some shit. That ain't me.
Yeah, okay.
I promise you, I haven't been in the
Good
chat,
to
bro.
see you back, Bruiser.
I know, man. I wish I was
Good to
here
see you back. Good
last
to see you
Tuesday
back.
to save you. I mean, I wish I was here to join King Talk.
Yeah, you went on that 360-day cruise. Finally came back. That's good.
It was fun, man. You should have been there.
Nah.
Man, this is JR fault.
Kenny know you want to laugh, man. Kenny know you want to laugh.
Go blame this on you, JR.
Kenny know you want to laugh. This is funny as hell.
Oh Lord. What's up, Viz?
What's going on, Viz? Man, go ahead and ask this question, man, so we can get on. So we was talking about how do you continue to connect with your significant other. There's a lot of guys that just sitting there, ain't talking. The girl bored out her mind. The connection is not there. A lot of people struggling with it. So, what are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I heard Sweeney saying that he just sit back and have a couple of drinks and people watch. So is this just in general or in a public setting or something?
It's just in general, man. I mean, because like what you see in public, it's probably the same thing at home. Like, you probably go to his man cave. She probably doing her thing. They just don't seem to be in sync no more. The relationship is dying.
Yeah. Oh, one thing that I always hear at weddings, when I film weddings, is that somebody will get up and they'll say, remember to always to continue to date each other. When you stop dating each other, then that's when the relationship, gets dull. The flame isn't there anymore. So I think that will be the grounds essentially to keep that fire there. And whatever that would look like with your spouse or who you with, that varies from person to person.
All right. I appreciate that. Anybody else got anything else to add on this before we transition? Take a job and really like that topic, man. I'm sure to scratch that off the list. I'm just gonna be honest, man. I'm looking at y'all face expressions, like, damn.
Man, I gave you all the answers, but it got glossed over. That was all the answers.
I guess everybody wants to get it all figured out. I was trying to be a little bit more therapeutic and see if we can get some game, but I guess y'all got it all figured out. And y'all just left everybody else helpless, man. Because I know it ain't just me. I see the people just not interacting. I know people don't know how to have a conversation. They don't have any questions. They don't have anything going on inside their head that will transition to them
just lighten up that person across from them. They sitting there and talked about everything.
No, it's always something happening in the world. I mean, you damn near could bring up current events and give your opinion on that shit. You could have the same type of discussion you having on the panel. You can have that shit in person with the women you talking to.
Man,
You
someone,
remember Do or Die back in the day when they say conversation on the bomb, if you pause for a minute, you can start walking. I know it's your first time, just follow your first mind. I'm gonna soothe your soul and you could lose control. And all I really want to know, like that
This nigga over there quoting Do or Die lyrics and shit, man. What is-
Hey, but they had the game though. They was giving it out for free.
They sure did.
That was Twisted verse.
Hey, but you gotta understand though, some women don't want to talk about it. Some women don't care about this podcast shit. So like they don't want to hear about it. And then you have the women where whatever you say, then they throw it back on you. Like, this ain't your podcast. I don't know why you saying all of this. This ain't your podcast.
No, I'm saying like, all right, so say we had a segment about what was the last segment about?
Oh, you talking the first topic?
Yeah, what was the first topic?
Damn, you forgot that quick?
My memory's bad, bro. My shit is bad. I got ADHD.
Why do men try to rescue every woman they date?
Okay, so bam. Hey, babe, have you ever you ever interact, like you ever seen somebody like that's constantly chasing women that's like not after them, that they gotta fix? Like, how you feel about that? Have you ever seen that? She's gonna respond and you can start the conversation from there. These questions can be icebreakers in actual relationships. Like, you can transition down to everything we talk about until you find something that she interested in or that you interested in that y'all can further a conversation from. It's plenty of segments that can create, as long as you're willing to engage and give your opinion on something. It don't got to be perfect. It don't got to be right. You just interacting and you finding how somebody's brain work. That's one of the best parts of intimacy. It's not sexual. It's finding out how that person, that's what dude was hitting on. Every time something happened in his life, he changed and becomes somebody else, and he's introducing that person to her. She got shit going on too. Talking to her help you understand who she is. That's actual intimacy.
And JR, most of the time, women do a lot of talking anyway. It's just, is the men going to be willing to respond and give more than just one-word answers? You know, that's another thing.
You can damn near get away with 3 hours of conversation by giving one word answers.
But that's because you probably don't care about the shit she talking about. If she talking about some shit you don't want to, if she talking about some shit you don't want to talk about, please tell her.
You better stay with your wife.
You get away with it.
Bro, do not do that, bro. Do not tell a woman that you don't care about what she talking about.
I'm not saying say I don't care. Be like, I don't know. That's not really a subject I'm that interested in. But I got another subject.
I wouldn't say that either.
Hey, Marcus, hit him with the damn for real. That's crazy.
You see,
What?
That's crazy is the equivalent of I'm not that interested in that shit. Like, word, straight up.
That works on the women that are extremely talkative though. Like, you can get away with just nodding your head. If you got a talkative ass woman, you can get away with nodding your head the entire time, and she gonna talk your head off.
Yeah, but you don't want to use that move every time you have a conversation, because then she's gonna get hip to it, and now she's gonna force you to have a conversation about something else. Then what you gonna do? Now you're gonna get cornered in that actually have a conversation about some shit you really don't want to talk about, but now you gotta talk about it because you use that same weak ass sex move on every goddamn time.
He's like, nah, I got you, motherfucker. You gonna talk about this today?
All right, we're going to get into this main topic, man. Verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse. I'll go ahead and play this clip and I'll right into it.
How can you love this man in a different way? How can you give this man informative love? How can you inform this man and say, hey, baby, you know, if you go to God and ask God for this thing called provision.
God is the answer.
Right?
Always remember that.
Then guess what? You're going to be empowered, right? You're going to be empowered with opportunity. And whatever you're endeavoring will be blessed by God through provision. So she has to give her man that first phase of informative love. She has to inform him about provision. So her role is wisdom and balance, right? So she has to have some wisdom, and she needs to go to God for her wisdom. So now she can project that into her man. That's the first phase of love. The second phase of love is unconditional. Might not want to say he's a dummy, right? Might want to just say he may be unaware. And through that patience and empathy, it makes him receptive to your wisdom, okay? Then now the last phase of love is it's tough love, accountability. Now she's like, okay, babe, come on, right? But it's not accountability in a way that is condescending or dismissive, right? And verbal abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse. So a lot of times when you look at domestic violence, they highlight the man being the physical aggressor, and they unhighlight the woman being the mental or psychological aggressor, right? And a lot of times men, we deal with so much. Yeah, I wish I had a Birkin. And you know he work at Amazon.
Yeah, she got to relax.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
oh yeah, I
calm
want to
down.
travel and go to the world, and
No.
you know he ain't leave his block yet, right? So she has to be aware of the things she says to that man, and that's the, even though she's giving him tough love and accountability, she's giving it in a way that is proactive, that is building him up and not breaking him down. The next point is she needs to break down, how do we scale the provision? How do we, and he may not have an idea on where to put his provision. So through her wisdom, she gives him some inspiration for what to do with the money that God is about to bless him with, right? And then the last thing is she's going to take that and develop goals for the relationship, right? Living expenses times 4 times 12 times 100. Living expenses times 4 times 12 times 100. That's the generational wealth. So now they're working with purpose. They're working with a financial goal, a financial deadline. And I think he'll go from being a dummy to being smart.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Verbal abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse. I'm going to go to you first, Law. What are your thoughts about that, man?
That's facts. You know what I'm saying? I think so, because I mean, as a child, like, you can remember something that somebody said to you, but you probably don't really remember how it felt to have somebody pop you upside your head. You know what I'm saying? But certain things, that's a stain. So like, even if a woman, she could throw some shit at you, this, that, and the other, but that shit that they say, that they know is gonna cut like a knife, that's gonna hit different. And that's something that, look, it be the one, you say one wrong thing and that could just ruin it. I'll never forget it. You know what I'm saying? I never look at you the same. They know how to do it. It's certain things like that. So yeah, I think it is worse.
All right. Go ahead, Shan. What are your thoughts about this, man? Verbal abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse.
When it comes to verbal abuse versus physical abuse, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me is one of the most bullshit nursery rhymes that we were ever taught. I don't even know who made that up. Now, I get the premise. Okay, somebody is talking to you and they saying stuff to you. You could just turn around and walk away. You could just turn around and walk away. You don't have to listen to what somebody's saying. Just walk away. But when you're in a relationship, you can't just walk away. What happened? Yeah, you could walk away. One of our, we talk about men. What is your most powerful tool? Walk away. Well, what happens when you're locked in contractually? I often discuss death by 1,000 cuts. Is it worse? Is 1,000 paper cuts worse than just a quick, swift death? Would you rather, just get sliced up? Listen, man, sticks and stones may break my bones. They do. Bones heal. But those words, man, they slice deep. The guy in the video, he said women need to be aware. I agree. In fact, I believe that verbal abuse can oftentimes be more powerful or more worse than physical abuse. But he said women need to be aware. I believe they are aware. They are aware of what they say to men. And they're trained from childhood to use that mouth of theirs as a weapon, because they know that that's all they have. They know they can't whoop your ass. So they're going to poke at you and talk about you and down and disrespect you and talk shit about you and tell you where you lack and tell you what you need to do and just talk. And then I know you guys have been in a situation where you got into an argument with somebody, and then she was like, "Oh, I just said that because I was mad." And then they said, "Well, were you telling the truth?" And so now you don't know, was she did she really say that because that's how she feels? Did she say that because she was just trying to hurt me? That mouth, man, that mouthpiece is a sword. And if you got you a woman that knows how to curtail her mouth and to STFU when necessary, that STFU thing is big too. Getting into, a lot, we talk about femininity and we talk about being soft, and the new word now, demure, right? We want a woman that's reserved and soft and kind, and if a guy's upset, a soft woman can diffuse him quickly. Well, if women know that, then how come they don't do it? Because they don't want to. They want to hurt you bad, and they know they can do it with their mouth. They know they can do it with those words. And so in my personal opinion, I agree with the things that they're saying in the video. Only thing that I didn't agree with is that he said women need to be aware. I believe they are aware, and they weaponize that shit as best they can to piss you off as fast as they can, and cut as deep as they can to hurt you as much as they can.
All right. Go ahead, M. White.
I honestly don't think verbal abuse is as bad as actual physical abuse, in my personal opinion. I think it's bad. I think it has lasting impacts. I think abuse is abuse. Um, the way I don't know. I guess they similar, but I'm just thinking of like somebody can't talk me to death, but you literally can beat somebody to death. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I'm doing it like I'm saying it like that. But I do see the harm in both of them, because verbal abuse can have somebody questioning themselves, uh like dealing with like trauma where they afraid to say anything, or they embarrassed, or they, you know what I'm saying, they air all your business out on the internet, or all type of other crazy shit that Shan was just describing. All of that shit is fucked up. I 100% agree. It's all bad.
Mark,
My question, what'd you say?
Marcus, has anybody ever said anything to you that made you want to get physical with them?
Yes.
And how can you say it's not worse? If it's not equal to, if not worse?
Because I just said it's bad. I didn't say it was good. I said it's a issue. I'm saying it's so all right. In my mind, you say some slick shit to me and I hurt you. I feel like I got the better out of that scenario. I don't think your slick shit is equivalent to me hurting you physically. That's just how I personally feel.
But I guess the way I'm looking at it is that if you have to get physical with someone, like you may say that you got the better of that situation, but they elicited a physical response just through their words alone.
That's true. But I would prefer to be the one that hit the person than said this shit to the person.
Marcus, what happens? I hear what you're saying, and because you're saying the pain, the receptors, the fact that you broke a bone, the fact that you blacked an eye is giving you a one up. But you got to understand something, and what I think Sweeney's trying to convey is you're under their control. And the fact that somebody can say something to you to get you to act on something means that you are not in control. They are. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Silence of the Lambs. I just want you to watch that movie. So you know the power of Hannibal Lecter, the power of somebody's words. If it can cause you to elicit physical harm on somebody based on something that somebody verbally said to you, then you are not in control of your emotions, and you're certainly not in control of your body. Now, I get it. If you're saying that, well, you know what, they just talking and sticks and stones, I could just walk away, then fine. But if you feel that somehow you got a one up because you punched somebody in the eye. You really didn't. You actually lost. You lost that fight, buddy. Believe it or not. And
Yeah,
I think that's
I
what
don't see it that way. I would prefer for
I know you
somebody
do. You a
to
gangster. You a
take
crip.
the
You a
flick.
gangster. Disciple
I
or whatever
never
they call
said
it.
that. I'm just saying that I just don't personally, in my personal opinion, I just don't see it that way. But I mean, y'all make a strong argument. And here's the thing: a paper cut might hurt worse than a gunshot, depending on who the person is getting hurt by it. So that's just how I interpret it. You see what I'm saying? That it's just my personal understanding of my pain threshold for one versus the other. I prefer somebody say some sick shit to me than put their hands on me. And I prefer to be the one to put my hands than say some slick shit to somebody. I think violence is the ultimate uh like death is the ultimate winner. Like there ain't no coming back from death after you kill somebody. Like you
No,
won.
I
It's
feel
over.
you. I feel you. I just hope nobody talks you into going to prison because you done did something that they gonna
Right.
heal on while your ass is sitting up in prison. You gonna say, well, you gonna be sitting in your cell, all steel toilet, talking about, well, at least I beat their ass.
I beat the fuck out of that nigga though.
I'm not advocating for that, but I'm saying if in my personal opinion, and that's assuming that they still so
No, it's all right. We understand, Marcus. You ain't got to say that. You ain't got to say that.
You see all the smiles?
We
But
understand, bro. You ain't got to say
but the
that.
thing about it though,
You see
it's
all the
gonna hit
smiles?
deep if it's your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Any of you motherfuckers up there can say anything in the world to me. It's not gonna move me. But if my wife, my future wife, my fiance was to say something, that's like a goddamn gut punch. So that shit hits hard. I mean, I understand what Marcus is saying, that the physical thing will eventually go, yeah, that's cool. But like Shan said, if they're able to control you enough, if I call you the N-word, that white boy call you the N-word, now you ready to, choke his ass out. Now he's got every bit of control of you. You his boy.
I
Because he
don't
got you
think
to
he
do
felt that
exactly.
way.
So
That's the thing.
with the words, man, look, yeah, they can hurt, especially from who they come from. They came from your kids. Your daughter said some slick shit to you that you ain't my daddy.
Ooh,
Some shit like that.
that would be a hard one. Yeah.
I mean, those things that some men hear. These are things that some men hear. These I'm not just making some shit up. Men went through that shit, but words can't really hurt. Now, I'm gonna tell the men right now, sit here on the front line, man. Look,
I never
guys,
said that though, Hank.
if
I
you
never
are
said they
having a
don't.
conversation, hold on, Marcus, hold on, Marcus,
My bad.
I got you.
My bad.
If you are having a conversation, you are watching you want having a conversation, and she started talking slick and saying some slick nasty shit to us, you better address that right then and now. I know she may not have been talking to you, but she talking to somebody else. But please believe you me, that visceral tongue is gonna turn her on you one day. Cause soon as you don't take that goddamn trash out, she gonna say some slick shit to your black ass. And then what you gonna do? So fellas, you better address it soon as you see it. I don't care if she's talking to her friends or in a little circle. She may be talking to one of her kids. You better address it. Hey, I understand what you were saying. Don't come to me like that. Don't disrespect. Fellas, you better address that as soon as possible.
No, I agree with that. I ain't got no disagreement with that. So part of like to back to what I was saying with Sweeney, part of me stopping in communication with somebody when it like I'm not dating no disrespectful woman. I'm not about to even be friends with disrespectful men. Like I'm cutting that shit off. Like, bro, I don't play like that, and let's move forward respectfully because I just don't want to be in that situation where I even have to even potentially feel like that is of recourse or something. I'm trying to avoid them scenarios at all costs, at every turn. So a lot of stuff I'm like, bro, I'm not disrespecting you. Don't disrespect me instantly, like you
I
saying.
guess
You said it
I guess
earlier.
the point I'm trying to come across is that words that can elicit violence are actually violent. If your words can elicit violence, they're violent. And
That is
people
totally
know
correct.
when to do it. People know exactly if they know what if somebody knows what buttons to push on you, Marcus, with their words, that's an act of violence. Because they know what they're going to try to get out of you to do it. Or I know I can get this person to get out their body if I talk. All I have to do is say this to them. So when you're with your woman and we're talking about just verbal abuse within the confines of of a marriage or a relationship, if she knows what can get you there, that's an act of violence.
No, it's even worse than that, Sweeney. It's with Marcus, and from what I see on the outside, I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus. What I see is it's worse than knowing what his line is. The worst thing is not knowing what his line is and crossing it, and then still being treated as if you knew it. You get what I'm saying? It's even worse. It's like, I think it's something internal that's deep down that you would have to figure out, how come I can't cope with someone unintentionally crossing my line or indirectly disrespect me when they had no intentions of doing it. I think it's a matter of, okay, why can I deal with this? Why do I always got to go to the extreme when it actually happens? It's something that I would want to look at myself and be like, damn, I think this is something I need to rectify or figure out within my own self so I can effectively, talk to people in a way to where I don't literally just cut them off or just not want to be friends and not want to fuck with them. Just like, hey, look, man, that shit you did wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? I got a thin line and, this is, all right, I got you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Yeah, go ahead.
So mine is also preemptive reasoning, I think. So it's like it's I would say it's a protection measure. So like I had a friend one time who you ever seen Pay the Fool? You know when Ice was like money making Mitch.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had a friend that they used to call me money making, and the way he used to say that used to burn my soul. Just because I felt like the person that was doing that was like a jealous hater, and they ended up getting his nephew kidnapped. So in my mind, I made a link. Like I be linking stuff together. So he hadn't done anything to me, but in my mind, the potential now was there because the way that he was operating seemed similar to another category of person that I see somebody operating that way. It may sound kind of esoteric or scattered, but like I try and group chain of logic together when it comes to behavior patterns for people to make predictive behavior descriptions. So I say that to say if if I feel like you a person that's continuously crossing a line that I've explained to you, I'm not going to continue to engage in a way where you continue to cross that line and it escalate. I'll just remove myself from the situation before it continue to escalate while I still have control over it. Now that will have to be intentional and you know what I'm saying? Like we talked about the other day. Like if I'm saying, hey, like you like say you know somebody's gay, hey, I don't play no gay shit. And they like, you don't want me just to, bro, I just told you I don't play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you gave him a fair warning. I get that.
It's the same thing, and it kind of touches on what you were talking about earlier, Marcus. I'm sure us as fellas, we can agree to it, especially if you grew up in the hood. But some of the guys, they feel comfortable enough calling each other bitch. Like, man, fuck you, bitch. Woo, playing around. Me personally, I never was cool with that. I never did it. So out of respect, the homies that did do it amongst each other, they did it amongst themselves, but they knew, oh no, bro, folks don't even play like that. So don't even, you know what I'm saying? He ain't even gonna go that way. And I ain't even finna entertain that type of joking. So I think that more so depends on the type of man that person is, that man is, and where it is that they draw the lines and the boundaries. But even to what Marcus was saying about old boy that was calling him money making, Marcus or whatever, like you got to pay attention to the patterns, because man, 9 out of 10, buddy was probably on some, setting up type shit, plotting, whatever the case may be. And that as well is something that you will essentially adapt and create as you continue to live, type of deal, I guess. But everybody not programmed to be aware of that. They'll just go with the Joneses, much rather than knowing when to set boundaries.
Yeah. Go ahead, KP. Anything you want to add on this?
We got clear examples from prior shows how that's contradictory. Words have power. Some people say what you speak, you manifest. You can actually control people. With your words alone, you can make people revel or riot. Get them. And you could have a whole riot. Sticks and stones. Of course you men. Shannon mentioned it. But I could say some real nasty stuff if I know things about you that would keep you up at night. And I didn't have to lay one finger on you. But you'll never forget me. Words, they be etched in your soul. They'll be in a place where you can't heal if you don't allow it. Words can institutionalize you into a way of thinking where you drinking the juice. Bones heal. You give somebody the ability to put the right words together and they know your weaknesses, they can tear you apart. They don't have to be even in a breath's distance away from you. I digress.
All right, go ahead, Brother Hank. I saw you, Darren. I got you next.
No, I was just agreeing with what Kenny was saying. That's true. But I don't know. He's pretty much said what I need to say. Yeah.
I was gonna say that I get what Kenny's saying, how he may look at or analyze some of the things people saying as a contradictory. I would argue that it's not. It's just, if they're doing that to you, then it just shows you how much respect they got. Or are they doing that to someone? It just shows that how much respect they got for the people that are doing it to, if they're doing it on here. Because if I tell you, hey, look, man, I'm real respectful, you know what I'm saying? I would never say nothing disrespectful. I wouldn't cross nobody's line. I want them to show me the same respect. But then you see me on episodes where I'm crossing somebody's line. And I'm constantly crossing the line. That means I don't respect that person. So it's not necessarily a contradiction. It's just more like a telltale sign. Hey, look, I don't give a shit about this motherfucker here.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And it might be kind of brutal and hard to accept, but that's how I just look. When I listen to people talk and they say they don't want to do this to somebody else and then they do it to me, I just take that as they don't give a shit about me.
Oh, and you are within your right to feel that way. I could see the dynamic that you're putting out there. But just look at it. You've said things to people. I'm asking. You've said things to an individual where you knew they were weak, and you know this thing that you would say would get them uneasy, maybe take them past words with you, but you said it anyway. It wasn't that you didn't respect them. It was you having the upper hand, not even having to put your hands on somebody, but knowing that you could say a certain thing or things that would crush somebody. You've ever been in that position?
No, I never tried to hurt. I think that's intentionally trying to hurt somebody.
Have you ever seen it play out?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've had somebody do that to me, but I try hard not to do stuff like that.
You actually seen the power of it.
Oh yeah, man. Especially when I was in the military. I mean,
I
think it was a mechanism a lot of drill instructors used to kind of break us.
would you say that hit harder than a punch in the face?
Hell yeah. Especially when it comes from somebody. I think somebody had already went over that. Somebody that I hold dear to me. It is so like my wife or something. She could slap me. I mean, it'll hurt. But if she says she hate me, I think that would be worse. You get what I'm saying? So I'm in full agreement about that.
Indeed.
I think I have a fundamental misunderstanding of what y'all discussing, because like death is always on the table. With violence, it's always death that's possibly on the table. So I'm equating, because the escalation of violence eventually ends in death. So I'm equating words somebody say to you versus killing them. And I'm always gonna say dying is worse than somebody saying some slick shit to you. And that don't mean that saying the slick shit ain't fucked up. It's just death is worse.
Well, I think Marcus, the difference with that is it sounds like you're probably comparing it to somebody on the street that you can just walk away from, compared to your wife saying it.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't speaking about a woman.
Yeah. There was a I don't know if any of you guys there's a series that comes on Showtime called Couples Therapy. And there was this one couple on there. It was a gay couple, but it was this one couple on there, and one of the guys, in their arguments, one of the guys would bring up his mate's family, and his family essentially left him homeless at one point. So he would hit him with jabs, take punches at him about his family, and he said in therapy he only does that because he knows that will hurt him, you know. So even despite, I'm pretty sure that they was actually hitting on each other too, but despite that physical abuse, he knew that the only way that he would win is by inflicting this verbal pain and bringing up his family and saying whatever about it, you know. And that shit would literally have dude in tears every time he talked about it. So I think that you're twisting the two, because on the street, yeah, you can walk away all day, but if it's your child, your spouse, your mama, you know what I'm saying, then that just hits differently.
Yeah, in them scenarios, yeah. So I was answering it from the other perspective, yeah. But even so, like, say my mother said some slick shit to me, I cut her ass off until I felt like it was okay to talk back to her. I'm not about. So one thing nobody's gonna do is have the ability to cause me harm, and I stay there and take it. I'll distance myself quicker than anything you ever seen before. Like I'm not really for the we can trade back and forth insults all day,
So
meaningful
you
hurt.
agree? So you agree that the words are causing you harm?
I never said they didn't cause harm. I said which one was worse. I
Let
said
me ask Marcus, bro. Let me ask you this: let's say you get into an argument or you had disagreement with your mother, and she slap you, or she say some shit like, I hate you. You ain't my son. Which one you think gonna hurt more?
Probably the I hate you, like long term, the I hate you ain't my son.
That's what I'm saying. Because the slap don't mean nothing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like to hear somebody that you trust, love, that you expect better out of, to try and cut that deep and go that low, you'll never forget that.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah. But like Marvin Gaye, right? His father, like Marvin Gaye, his father actually killed him. That's still worse than that statement. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the extreme.
Yeah,
all violence is the sliding scale. It just when somebody gets sick of playing with you,
but hold on.
Marvin Gaye pulled up on his dad.
But the reason why he was high. He was trying to rob him. He was trying to steal stuff from the house. That's why.
I think he hit his mom's too, Joe.
Yeah, there has to be a there has to be an escalation to that point for something like that to happen.
So I think that I'm basing it off of once violence starts, who stops it? If you engage in the violence, the only thing that really could stop it is somebody saying, all right, I'm gonna take this L, or somebody dying.
Or you could look at it as taking a W, the one who's stopping it, because now
Yeah.
you just prevented loss of life.
Yeah. No, I agree. It could potentially be that. But I'm saying that's on the table as opposed to somebody just talking back and forth with you.
Yeah, I've
I
done
mean,
that before.
hey, but Marcus, even on some street shit, even in I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you was in the streets and something escalated to where it was like, all right, I'll allow for me to de-escalate this situation. Let me pull Marcus, man. Hey,
All
come
the
out at
time.
me, bro. You
Yeah,
know what
all
I'm
the
saying?
time. Yeah,
That,
all the time.
yeah. Yeah, it's just a simple de-escalation. Because in most cases it can be talked down, but if we can't talk it down, then that's something completely different. But
Which is why I'm saying, like you could make a whole lot of music about somebody saying all type of crazy shit about somebody, but the moment you kill somebody in their family, it's a good chance that ain't no coming back from that. That's the what I'm saying is the permanency of death. Like the shit that somebody could say with words will hurt you. I'm not saying it's not hurtful. Like I hopefully I'm not making that argument. It's hurtful. It could be hurtful, extremely hurtful, and it could stick with you. In comparison to the two, I prefer words versus physical violence done to me. That's the only thing. And the only reason is because I don't think physical violence just stop at one hit. If somebody willing to engage with you, what's to stop them from going to the extreme?
Mercy.
What if they ain't got none?
Oh Lord.
But I mean, that can be said about anything though, because if words can lead to physical violence, and physical violence can lead to even more physical violence, that can be said about anything. So
I
if
just
somebody
heard
can elicit, like for instance, if I can elicit you hit me in my jaw, but I shoot you afterwards, all I'm doing is all you did was respond to my words with physical violence, and then I responded to your physical violence with even worse physical violence.
Right.
It can always escalate, but that's the whole point of why we're saying that words can be just as powerful as physical abuse. Can be just as verbal abuse can be just as powerful as physical abuse because they both can elicit dangerous outcomes.
Yeah, you definitely can listen to the outcome from words. I'm not making that argument. If I juxtapose the two and I'm saying one is worse than the other, I am saying physical is worse than verbal. That's my whole argument.
Okay, so I swore I heard 10 minutes ago someone make a case for verbal being the catalyst for them being physical with somebody in sync. That's the end that they would take, and they like to take that ends. As for something caused by a verbal, which elicited that person have an ideology as for, okay, so I'm gonna deal with it with my hands, or death. What the catalyst was, what? Words. And I'm pretty sure I heard that. Sat back, listened to it, took a note too. And then spun the whole block and went right back to it. I know it well. Somebody played with me when I was younger. It was words. That's one of the felonies I caught.
And imagine if the words come from someone that you can't even see. It's easy for you to say that, Marcus, when I'm the one being verbally ignorant with you, right? Because you can just, it's very easy for you to put pause. Like you can be like, all right, I'm about to put pause on this nigga. Imagine when you know you don't really have the power in that situation. Imagine if the other person knows you can't do shit about it.
You saying like, are we back to women, or are we still talking about like interactions with people?
And that's in that particular situation, I am bringing up women in this dynamic.
Okay, so you saying a woman that because she said stuff to you and you can't hit her, that she wins because you're not supposed to be hitting her, or
No, it's the fact that it becomes abusive if they know, because part of bullying is doing something to somebody knowing that they won't respond to you, or knowing that they can't respond to you, right? That's what we typically consider a bully. It's not somebody who goes out there like knowing, if you know somebody can't do shit about it, and you know that you have the upper hand in this particular realm, and you continue to use that against someone, knowing that they are weak against you, that's a bully. So and a lot of the times in these verbal abusive dynamics, women tend to hold the power in that because they tend to win war of words a lot more than men do. Men, we don't have to have war of words because most of the time we can just, you say some shit I don't like, it's gonna go upside your head. Or it don't even get there. We just, hey, we get physical. But what happens when you know that you can't do shit about it? There ain't no amount of words you're gonna say that's gonna cut as deep as what she just said to you. If you even want to say anything that cuts deep. Because oftentimes they tell you don't go back and one of the first things they tell you is don't go back and forth with a woman.
Yeah, no, I agree. So that's why I was saying, like, my whole thing would be leave these women, bro. Unless you got a kid that's like making it a situation where you got to go to therapy and try and figure that shit out for the betterment of the child, you just need to leave these women. Like, it's no reason why you don't have something that anchors you completely to that person that you sit there and continue to engage in disrespect with one another. I'm not an advocate for that.
You looking for something to apply. We just trying to figure out which one is more powerful or which one hurts the worst.
Right, and I'm saying it's still gonna be violence, because death fall under the envelope of violence. Death, that's the ultimate. There's no words more powerful than death. Once you dead, you dead.
But
you speaking
I think
from
that's going to a different, you know what I'm saying, point though, bro. I think that's more so like, we looking in a relationship aspect. Of course, yeah, she can kill you. Yeah, she pull out a gun and unalive you, right? Okay. But we talking about just regular, would you rather have somebody, you know what I'm saying, your woman slap you? Like, or I just kind of go back to the moms, because see, my thing is it has to be somebody where you can't just leave, right? You can't just get up and, like, if it's somebody that has a personal relationship with you care about, you know what I mean? You feel a certain way, like even let's say it's your child, certain things they could say, you'd be like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So physically hitting me ain't gonna mean nothing tomorrow.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So if you got a daughter and she come to you and tell you her boyfriend said, you ain't shit, I wish I never met you, your pussy stank, having kids with you was an issue, I wish I would have married somebody else, or I wish I was dating somebody else. Or if she come to you and say, hey, daddy, he beat me up, which one is you going to be more mad about?
That's different.
Because I think that's
different because I'm looking at it. Y'all argue, he say all the stupid shit he want. He better not put his hands on you.
That's
now
the
he's gonna be
speaking from.
But that's saying to me. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, to her that might hurt more because she has to experience it. It doesn't hurt my feelings like that. It's fucked up, but you dealing with this sucker. Now he put his hands on you. Now I have to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? That's different. That's y'all emotional shit, but that's probably gonna hurt her more. Just like a woman I'm telling you, a woman could get slapped around and go back. But shit, some shit you could say, she might not never go back. She may never get over it.
And then also, Marcus, you have to think of it from the perspective of, like, and Law kind of put it there. I would dive deeper to say she may see both of those instances as equally violent. We hear them talk about it all the time. She may hear both of those and expect you to go upside that man's head. See, it's not about me in that point. But when she come to you and, hey, daddy, you need to go handle that nigga. That nigga been talking to me crazy all week.
I'm not going.
Well, obviously you won't, because you in your mind is just words. But in her mind, she like, and think of it this way. If she don't have the words to cut him as deep, what is her first initial thing she's going to want to do? She's going to try to go get somebody else to put pause on him, whether it's you, her brother, the police.
Right.
So in her mind, it still elicits the same type of violent response.
Right. But my thing, Sweeney, is if the words that he got her with made her have to go get somebody else to put physical, it's because one, she felt like that was the just, you know what I'm saying? Like she got the one up by escalating the words to violence.
Well, I don't know, bro. So there was a
Anyway,
situation.
though.
There was this one situation that I
Nah,
seen on the book where or maybe YouTube. This lady called in to 911 saying that her husband was beating her, and whole time her husband or the guy that she was with is on the other side of the room filming her, and
I know
she's
who you're
like,
talking about.
he's hitting me. He's like, no, I'm not, and he all the way on the other side. So of course we all know BVs are, you know, one of the most dangerous calls that a law enforcement can go to and be involved in. So just off the strength of her setting the tone, you know, verbally with the 911 caller for the police to come in super hot, and they just off rap, you know what I'm saying? They all of their attention is gonna be on the guy, and that could easily escalate to whatever.
right. I agree with y'all. That's what I'm saying. Escalation is the worst part.
Right, but that's what makes it that's what makes it the a more destructive abuse. Or even let's say if somebody is depressed, let's say your OG passed, right, and that take you into depression, and your old lady is like, oh well, that's why your mama ain't shit. She ain't never been shit. That's why she dead. Woo woo, got maggots going through her. That could easily push a motherfucker to unalive they self just because, you know what I'm saying, or even do a double unalive type of deal, you know, where it's just a terrible situation due to some words.
What matter of fact is, wasn't there a scenario in which this girl in high school was convicted of I think I forgot what crime she was convicted of for literally verbally abusing a young man that was
Oh yeah, for bullying
into
him.
for
Yep.
And he
bullying
went
him
and killed
into
him.
doing it.
Yep.
He deleted himself. Yeah.
Yep.
So again, I'm not saying that words aren't harmful. I'm saying that I believe physical violence is worse. So let me ask y'all a question. If y'all was in a relationship and a woman hit you in your like just went and punched you in your face, would you take her back?
No.
Okay. If she
Most of
says
us probably would.
Hold on. So can you say that again?
if you're in a relationship and a woman get mad at you and haul off and punch you square in your shit, she just fire off on you hard as she can. It hurt her. Would you take her back after she did that?
No.
Yeah, I would, because I know I did some fucked up shit for my woman to punch me in the face. She probably, I would just assume that
Y'all
she
hear how
probably.
he internalized that? He ain't say that you did anything fucked up. He said that she hauled off and stole on you, and you immediately internalized that.
I was gonna say, I think the context is important too, because
It is.
if a woman just hit me,
She caught you cheating.
not-
All right. The context is she caught you cheating. She
Yeah,
got mad and decided to steal on you, square in
That's
your face,
that's
knock one of your
different.
teeth loose.
Yeah, I'm staying. I mean, I'm
Bro,
not
knocking
gonna say.
teeth loose and all. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's a
I'm just
different
saying.
scenario
First
though,
of
bro.
all, it's a lot that goes into
oh
that, Marcus,
no,
because the fact that I'm cheating suggests that I don't even really value the relationship anywhere to even say that I would stay. I think you should ask, if she hit you in the face, what would you do if she caught you cheating? I don't think it's a matter of staying or leaving. I think once you go out and park it in
Because
somebody else's vagina, you pretty much done.
I don't
What's
agree.
the other Marcus?
Hold on, what'd you say? You don't agree?
Yeah. So the other part was
What you don't agree with?
So the other part was if a woman tell you got a little dick and then say, I was just saying that because I was mad, would you take her back?
Bro, come on, bro. You got a little dick, bro? Is that what it is?
If a
I
woman
was gonna say,
said,
you know if you piping a woman down or
If
not.
you got a pipe on you, somebody say you got
You
a
know
little
if you're doing a good job or not. So,
my point
oh,
is, the point I'm making is, you might forgive her for saying some slick shit while she was upset, but if she haul off and still on your ass and you take her back, I just can't see too many
Marcus,
people
that's
doing
different
it.
because you're talking about something that might not that's not even true. Like if you know, like she just talking shit.
All right,
That's
say you got
different from her
go,
saying like that's why your mama dead and I don't give a fuck about you or your mama. Like that will cut maybe a little deeper. Or she cut it a little deep by saying throwing something in your face that you may have told her in confidence, as far as like a family issue or
right. Well,
something like that,
so
and then
Sweeney,
she says that, would that be a deal breaker that makes you walk away from it?
so I think both scenarios you should be leaving, right? But I think you would be quicker to leave on. I would be. Well, I wouldn't even get to the physical violence because the verbal violence would be would be the end of the relationship before it even escalated to that point.
But you know what though? It's the so I think what you're confusing, Mark, is that you're saying you said something. You said something along the lines of you don't know. You were saying that physical is more. What did you say?
Is worse. Like if I'm
Right.
ranking them, which one is worse? I'm saying physical is worse.
So I think what we're missing the mark is if you look at the title of the show, it says verbal abuse is just as powerful as physical abuse.
That could be true in some cases, yeah.
Which means that it can elicit the same energy or the same response or the same problems that physical abuse can elicit, if not more sometimes. And I think that's what we're missing in that is that it can, when you're trying to abuse someone, it can be just as powerful as putting your hands on them.
And I think that's what Marcus is saying. The reason why Marcus is saying that he thinks violence is the ultimate because he's saying that those words can lead to violence. So like that's the end point. The thing that kind of, and I'm gonna get to, I got one more topic I'm gonna go ahead and bring up, but I think the thing that kind of take away is understanding how powerful words can be. And everything is going to always be situational, depending on the person, depending on timing, and just depending on that tone and how it come to them. So understand that verbal abuse can result into some severe consequences. So be careful in what you're saying, who you're saying it to, and how you're saying it. Because, I mean, some people don't play. And it's all about that timing. Could have had a bad day, and then it was a wrap. All right, let me bring up this topic, man. This is from Facts and Law right here. You pretty sure you're familiar with this one. The importance of commitment and marriage before having children. Remember that clip?
Oh man, is this the Cam Newton shit?
No. Remember that, Law?
I don't know yet. I gotta see it. Ain't no telling. You know.
All right.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I have a child with a man who shows that he can be a good father. He already has a child. So you see that you're being a good father. We have this relationship. Yeah, we love each other. We create a child. It happens, right? Men change after you give them a baby, right? If some may not know, if you're not married or you don't have this solid foundation, there was rough patches, right? But there's a difference from rough patches and a just doing whatever he want to do. Even though you got this baby, so it's like in the beginning, you telling me you want this baby, you really doing the things to make me have this baby, and then you're abandoning me during the pregnancy, and then you're abandoning me after, and then you're coming back because I'm trying to do my duty and make my family happen, but I'm risking my own happiness. Why?
Well, again, that always goes back to what I said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he may have showed you he was a good father to his first child, right? But why wasn't he a good husband to their first child's mother? You dig what I'm saying? We need to make sure that we are getting a commitment before we start having babies, giving men the greatest thing they can possibly have from you. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Right, but that's my problem. We need to marry before we carry is how I feel. You dig what I'm saying? Because then we create. Hold on. We create. Look, hold on. I'm still cooking. Look, we create these families, right? You know what I'm saying? These broken families to begin with. You dig what I'm saying? Oh, a glass with cracks all in it ain't gonna hold much water. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that when we start picking these people that we're gonna have families with, we get a real commitment up front before we decide on doing that. Because now you can look at the fact that he didn't stay with the other woman. You You know what I'm saying? And that's a red flag. Why he ain't staying and build a family with who he start procreating? You dig what I'm saying? But then we go and do the same thing. You dig? And then look crazy like, oh damn, this shit. Well, damn, he showed you this already. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to make sure that we doing things a certain way to get a certain result. You're gonna always get it that way if you do things backwards.
Law, real quick.
Yeah.
A mere fact that you got so much pushback in the middle of that statement further lets me know that the lady that was interviewing Cam Newton is full of shit. And everybody that's trying to criticize him. Because the mere fact that you got so much pushback when all you said was, don't give him no baby before he give you commitment. But wait a minute. What are you saying but for? There is no but.
You showed me his first baby mama was this. What are we talking about?
So many women push back on that if the conversation is on that side. And y'all know me. I'm avid against father and multiple kids across families. However, it's that right there that gives me pause in a situation and be like, damn, why? I get that we going at Cam Newton about this, but we did just hear his baby mama get on there and say, well, if a billionaire comes and offers you a baby, you take it. Or if you feel that things is gonna go the way that you want them to go, you take it. Until it doesn't go the way that you want to go, now all of a sudden you want to look at this situation and this scenario and be like, oh my God, he's not doing right by me. But you didn't make sure he would do right by you to begin with. You never made sure of that first. You never made sure he was going to be there because he's supposed to, the moment we give you that commitment, first and foremost, that tells you that we choose you before there's even a baby in the picture. We choose you. So it's wild to me that you got and you're not the first one that got pushback when they said that. It happens all the time. As soon as a man says, maybe you shouldn't give him a child before you decide to. But I saw what he did with his other baby mama, but he won't do it to me. But I thought I was but it's a child. But it's his kid. There is no but.
Y'all ever hear that
statement?
You
haven't said how you tie that into the Cam Newton situation. I still don't understand that part.
Well, because with the whole Cam Newton situation, right? And I'm talking about the actual response that the videos got. Is you seeing all these women, yeah, sis, hold that nigga accountable. He out here making these babies and all of that. But when you listen to how they respond when a person tells you make marriage the priority, just like she told him, make marriage a priority. She told this singular man, make marriage a priority. But when you talk to women in mass and you tell them make marriage a priority, they never make it a priority before children. Even the whole Ebony K. Williams thing. She didn't make marriage a priority before a child. Nobody's beating down her door telling her how she's creating a broken home with a kid with no father. It's never a priority. Marriage is never a priority when we're talking to women about making kids out of wedlock. It's only a priority if a man is doing it.
Hey, is that Future's baby mama, the old girl that got pregnant by a basketball player just recently or something?
I think it's
Future and Bow Wow.
Right.
She around here collecting rings.
So what's crazy about that? Because I had shared that Cam Newton post on Facebook, and then the next day I saw the Ebony K. Williams or whatever chick, and when I went through the comments, all of the women in the comments was like, "Oh, she's set for life," and secure that bag. And it's like, damn, y'all just drag Cam for doing the same exact shit, but when she's doing it, it's okay. It's like, how does that make sense?
It don't, bro. It don't. It only made sense when she was talking to Cam Newton and Nick Cannon. I would even make the argument, at least half of the men, we just talked about the whole Nick Cannon situation less than 3 or 4 months ago. at least half the panel of men, if not 2/3 of the panel of men, were like, what Cam Newton is doing is kind of wrong.
Yeah.
So even men in majority can look at what Nick Cannon did and be like, there's something off about this. But you can't get half of women to look at what Ebony K. Williams did as problematic. You can't get half of women to look at what those ladies said to Law and look at that and be like, something wrong with y'all. At least we as men understand that, hey, there's a line we got to draw in the sand. All of us may not be there, but majority of us will draw that line in the sand like, bro, you tripping.
Girl code is real.
You said what, Kenny?
Girl code is undefeated and still real.
Y'all know what's one of the main things that I hear them say whenever we, talk about that conversation. One of the main things they kick it off with was men change after you had a baby. Now listen, I don't know how many of y'all got children, right? But look, y'all know if anybody changed, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? It ain't us. If it's us, it ain't just us. Y'all not only change mentally, emotionally, you change physically. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things that go on when women claim they don't even feel the same. You know what I'm saying? After that, but now you saying that we change, you probably do change because you turn into a different person, rightfully so. But just know don't think it's just men that change. A lot of times men have to go from being number one in your life to being secondary. You know what I'm saying? And they don't talk about that. They don't think about that. Like, that does matter. The way you treat someone matters. You change the way you treat I can say you change the way you treat your spouse, or your baby daddy in most of their situations. Hell, your baby daddy was probably coming over all the time because he was doing that thing you like. Now it's been 4-5 months and you ain't did that thing you like. He probably ain't coming over as much. Yeah, it happens because you don't like to do that no more. You don't be feeling like it, or whatever the case may be. Maybe y'all relationship was based on the sex to begin with. It ain't like you was heavily vetting them. You didn't get a commitment, so you didn't know if it was more than that. So now you saying he changed? Yeah, because y'all not doing the shit that he like to do with your ass. You know what this relationship was based off of, and you popped up pregnant. But now you give a man a baby and he changed. Come on, man. You should have talked about what was going to happen if we got pregnant beforehand instead of just, waiting on it after the fact.
Law, you want to know what's jacked up, bro? I just seen that situation play out right in my face, right? It was this one chick I've known for a few years on social media. But like, she was never, kidless and everything, right? She disappeared for a year. Ain't heard from her, ain't make no post. Next thing you know, baby. The fuck does this kid come from? And what is she doing? She online complaining about her baby father, posting the screenshots to their messages and shit. He don't want to take care of him or none of that. And you know what's crazy? I went to the dude profile, searched his profile for son, daughter, or whatever. Never claimed that kid. From the whole entire time, the man never claimed that kid. I said, on God's green earth, how the hell did you get pregnant by this dude? How?
He changed.
Like, how this nigga, this of all people you went made a baby with, you made a baby with a motherfucker that ain't even, the dude ain't never mentioned your name in private and proper company. Like, because you disappeared for a year. You ain't never mentioned his name and he ain't never mentioned yours. But this is the one you laid up with and made a child with. And then you're confused on why he don't want the kid. He never even chose you.
Nope.
But she was the first one that I seen post a picture of that whole Cam Newton shit. I'll tell you, they fit an archetype. The ones that shared that Cam Newton shit, all of them, single baby mamas. Every last one of them. Clapping their hands, stumping their feet, yes, sister girl, and all that shit. All of y'all in the same boat. Chose the, and you can go to their profile, see their baby daddy. Motherfucker ain't shit.
But do you know why some of these women are behaving like this or moving like this mentally? making these decisions.
Oh, man, bro, you made a whole video on that shit. We know why. You made a whole TikTok on that shit. Nigga, that was your most viral video too, wasn't it?
One of them, yeah.
I ain't see it.
Mine's not my most
What's
viral.
the reason? I didn't see the video. What's the reason?
You know, women making these decisions to have babies and carry them out outside of wedlock. I would. It's a lot of reasons, but I would say the main reason is they just unaware of how they're supposed to procreate. The presidents, you know what I'm saying, the importance. They're just unaware, man. This is not being told how to carry themselves. They literally not being told how to do it. It's like a plague in our community. I'm not going to even say that. It's a plague in a lot of communities, but I can only speak for the one that I have experience in and communicating within and talking to people in. It's just really bad.
Man, bro, they been told. Every last
No,
one
they
of them
ain't.
been told. They just don't care. They do what
Yeah,
they
but
want
see,
to do.
but okay, so let me try to put some context on being told, not just verbally, but being shown by example, being led by example. You know what I'm saying? I think the lead by example thing is very, very critical whenever you're trying to get somebody to adopt some type of standard or way to move or behavior.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But
So yeah.
I think that and that's one of the points that Cam was trying to make with old girl on that show of how she wants a healthy marriage, but she doesn't have any friends or influences that she can model that around. And that's one thing that he was trying to point out, but it seemed like it kept missing for her. But I agree that is one of the situations where a lot of women, a lot of people in general, men and women, they don't necessarily have those models anymore of where it's even valued or respected to go about it that way. So now it's cool to have a BD or BM. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a part of the lingo and the culture for it to be this cool thing of where it's my BD ain't shit. Just to even be able to say my BD or my BM, you know what I'm saying? It's like a badge now.
Hey, Marcus, I got a question for you.
Yo.
How many people watched what happened to y'all growing up and was like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit? This goes to you too, Viz. Because I know, and I think, Kenny, you come from that cloth as well, that come from that life, and I think you too. Law, how many people watched what happened to y'all and was like, yeah, no, I'm good?
No, they was.
If they wasn't already in the trenches with you. There's a difference.
What you mean?
You saying like how many people was outside seeing everything that was going on and was like, I don't want no parts of this shit. I'm gonna go a different direction.
Yeah.
Nobody that was outside.
I would say the one for me, yeah. I would
Until
say
they
the
got
ones
grown.
it would be the ones that were much younger coming up under us that saw it once I started getting it right. You know what I'm saying? Once I started figuring it out and had an opportunity to kind of tell them not to go that way. You know what I'm saying? And they could actually see the other side of it, so to speak.
So, all right, let me give you all the context of why I asked the question. Because I figured, like, maybe if somebody saw all the bad shit that was happening to y'all, it kind of deterred them from participating in the same shit. You know what I mean? But
it's few.
Okay, that makes sense. So it also could make sense to what Bruiser was saying, where he said that even though they make, because I was thinking that, damn, don't y'all got enough examples of women getting left behind and getting left with no holding the bag? Don't you think that some point you see all that shit happening to the women around you that you might be like, I don't want that, but hey,
they think it's normal. They think that's how you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
you think that's how you're supposed to operate.
Yeah, when dysfunction is your normal, then all best is it's no other examples that really like Law was saying, when they see you doing something different and it worked. So one person start podcasting and get rich, it's gonna be a million black podcasters.
Yeah, fair enough.
One person make it to the league, everybody gonna play sports. We kind of in a position where we want to see it done because we don't really believe shit. And if we see it working for anybody, everybody gonna try that shit because they saw it work for that one person.
You know what? I should have known that answer was coming because I've said that before too. When people talk about like reaching the kids in the neighborhood and stuff, I tell them all the time, like if you show them that it works and if you give them the tools, they gonna do it. But if they don't see that it's working for you, they're not gonna practice it. So yeah, y'all right. Y'all right.
I'm gonna bring up something else too, because just to kind of flip it a little bit, you can give somebody the game and they still just don't do it because they're so used to being up in dysfunction. You know, I remember talking to one of my guys, and he gonna be in prison until he in the 70s. But one of the things he told me was like, man, like you only like one of the only few people that I know that actually made something for yourself. And so he's saying the example, but he still didn't model it. So you're gonna have some people that say, hey, I'm gonna get better, I want to do better, but then you got other folks that they see it, they talk about it, they're around it, they get the experience, but for some reason they just can't get with it. Same reason why you have a lot of people come out of jail and then they go right back because they just conditioned. It becomes normal for them. Like they get out, they can't get it together, and they go right back in. So
That's why a lot of a lot of young guys who think that in order to be a hip hop artist, you gotta be dealt drugs or shot somebody or ran the streets. Otherwise, you're not a real hip hop artist. Like it's as if your talent can be on a level to where you can just be a hip hop artist based off your devotion to music and the art as solely that. You have to have a background of the struggle. You have to be from the streets. You have to sag. You have to have tats. You have to be them robbed somebody or shot somebody or sold some drugs or stole some drugs.
They ain't gotta do all that. They just gotta get under a banner, under one of the colors, or under a flag,
Like
and then get it.
did, yeah.
And then get extorted, and then the illusion is there that they come from that, or they cut from that cloth. You seen it with the 6ix9ine. You seen it with the Chris Brown. You seen it with the there's a bunch of names out there. Soldier Boy. You saw what happened when he went up to Cali and tried to, rep what he thought he was. Them homegrown, they gave him a good understanding. They ain't playing with it like that. And matter of fact, give me your sneakers and what's in your pocket. I get the point you're saying. But where I come from, you understand? One guy I used to look up to when I was a little kid was Larry Davis. If you don't know who he is, look at it's documented. He used to date a lady named T. I ain't gonna say her full name up on my block. He used to do stuff for the cops. He never got to write his story because he got killed in jail. Unalived in jail. But when we used to see them, we wouldn't stay away from it because that was the thing. You got the excitement from seeing that. Oyster, Podier. When they dropped BDP, Scott LaRock and them, they used to come around our way before he got, unalived. But it would be considered a norm within your neighborhoods. Something that just, okay, it is what it is. It's not something that you can get away from. Or you chose only a few with the super grounded parents, or the ones that, got steered away because they were talented either athletically or scholastically. That became something. Otherwise, you get consumed by what your locale is.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, and even then, you still might not escape. Like, one of my best friends in high school named Elliot Poole. Me and him was like 1 and 2 in the city in basketball. He went to UIC. When basketball didn't turn out with him going to the league, he came back he came back out west. And within 3 years, he got locked up for a murder on tape. Like a lot of people, like Kenny said, sports or being extremely gifted scholastically can save you. But if you run into a wall where you don't feel like, again, this goes to the example of visible representation. Because I truly believe when me and Butch was coming up, if it would have been men that lived in the neighborhood that actually worked and made something of themselves that we could admire, that could have changed the trajectory of a whole lot of different kids, including us, because we would have seen something physically that we could have aspired to. Like, yeah, it's black doctors that exist, but I ain't see none of their ass. Yeah, it's this type of person that exists. I didn't see none of them. So how do you even begin to know really how to model that shit when it seemed that far out of reach? That was one of my biggest things about wanting to stay connected, no matter what whatever success level I reach, because I understood the point of like being able to touch the person in real time that you want to emulate. Those examples really mean something.
Although I agree with that, I think that goes back to the point that JR made of where you can give somebody all of that and they'll still make the same decisions just because that's what they're used to and content with. I think in those situations, if you were truly serious about potentially being a doctor, you would seek out black men that were doctors. You know, if you seriously wanted to get out of the hood and you were aware of the contrast that you were seeing in life in that environment, then the only way for you to get out of it is if you seek it. But if you don't seek it and you just stay in that position, then you're going to fall victim to it every single time. So I think that is, although I do agree with you, at the same time, I think that we are exposed to it, but you have to make the choice to become more exposed to it and actually seek that knowledge, much rather than expecting for someone just to hand it over to you.
All right, man. We got to go ahead and close this on now because it's getting about that time. But appreciate that, Viz. It's the last super chat. Couples Light, $5 says excellent subject tonight. Thank you for that, sir. I appreciate the panel tonight, man. It's excellent discussion. If you find some value in it, make sure you go ahead and share this stream, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we are out. Appreciate you guys.